Welcome to the afternoon rundown, guys, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil's back. Sean's locked and loaded. They're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you on the How to Trade Midday show. So make sure to check that with Adair and I and get your vote in every day in the chat. Here are the triple Qs. And yes, we did touch that 500 ever so briefly. Topping tail candle there coming in on the triple Qs. Great strength today from the Mag 7. Good participation from microchips as well. Also spreading some other sectors we'll talk about, but the number one ticker as decided by you guys, TSLA, and more appropriate it could not be. This one breached local highs during the midday show, really up into that 266, 267 area. Great move for Tesla today, getting the nod from Goldman and Morgan Stanley, both in the same day, guys, with price target upgrades. Welcome back, Neil.
Yes, welcome. And look, man, breaching the highs on Tesla, much like, and only because there's this pun challenge going on, much like England is going to be breaching the defense of the Dutch in about 1 hour. Let's go. No, whatever. Breaching a defense, no one even says that in football or soccer.
Yeah, maybe
but no, it's not a football term. But Tesla, like, I'm not going to have any trades to review in the morning. Let's get that out of the way. There's just what I was taking at lunchtime in the afternoon. But I can tell you that selling some of my Tesla in the personal account was good because I sold it yesterday in front of 265 for the open, and 24 hours later, it's already higher because Tesla is Tesla. So it's trend up. It's 1.5%. Is what it is. I don't think this is the one you want to step out in front of. Maybe there's some short level. We talked about this on the daily chart, which my daily is hating me since I logged. Ooh. Look at that.
What up?
It was waiting until we actually started the show to fill in. My daily wasn't. Now it's filling in. So I was kind of avoiding it for a minute. But yeah, the next level we get to is probably 275, 280 in terms of an actual like previous hump top, and then the 300 level. So I think you're still favoring longs until we see some kind of a reason not to on Tesla. It was pretty much trend down in the morning, and the reversal. Wow, when it does the V-shaped recovery, you just got to look for a breakout. I wasn't really on that one. Of course, I did that thing where when I was waiting for, there's Randy. What? You're acting like you're not Randy, like you're looking for somebody else?
The animation should be here shortly.
No, the animation can wait. The real deal is right here. Why would we want to wait? And why is the bull like sitting down? Like that's not. Tesla's ridiculous.
We're talking about Tesla and you're here.
Just leave it at that. He knows when we're talking about EVs.
Yeah.
What the heck happened to Volkswagen, bro? What do you mean?
Yeah. It's almost like you can just stream this thing from anywhere and watch it and know what's happening
for free.
That's all.
Well, we make Randy pay actually.
You have Friday off or tomorrow off as well, or what's just Friday?
No.
All right.
Yeah, go eat some slop and then you're good.
Yeah.
Ooh, I saw that.
But now we got feedback on the food coming. Today was chili, and there was some chili reviews of it.
I didn't say anything positive or negative about it.
I didn't have it.
I didn't.
I didn't have it. We had little pieces of chicken.
Yeah, that was actually not bad. It was like a seasoned chicken.
In case everybody was wondering.
Yeah, go with Tesla, yeah.
No.
I don't know.
We'll talk about stocks later. What was for lunch today was beef chili with toasted garlic bread.
Do you have to say beef, though? I think it's just like if you say chili, it's assumed it's beef. And if you want to put something else in it, then you have to say it's the other
Right,
thing.
that would make sense. Chili. I guess that's true. My wife had this back when my daughter was doing vegetarian. There was, hopefully it wasn't beyond me, but it might have been. There was some ground that was pretty good to put in a chili to mix it up.
Down with that.
Ground, yeah.
You got to try things.
Oh, you know what's really good in chili too? Pumpkin. Shredded pumpkin puree.
Yeah, you know what?
Pumpkin puree.
Our boy's older brother, Nair, used to do that for us.
Oh, yeah. That's my wife does that, and my grandmother has stolen that recipe. It's it's always
your grandmother stole. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to say, it's always a good sign when grandma takes your wife's recipes.
Yes, it means you're winning on multiple levels.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so right here. No, I'm not done because Tesla was again my biggest stock yesterday and the day before, but today it's going to be my biggest losing stock because look, we were long here, and we said the only trade that we were long, and then we were short, and then we got blown out of it. That worked until it didn't. Thing is, I said if we break 265, we should probably be on our way to 270. It looks like that got halfway there. It's just too bad we didn't have that 265 long. So I just feel like today, again, it's another $10 range. I was actually talking with Matteo in the back. It's like, why are you stopping out? Like, our play was long, and everything, my whole mind changed when we got stopped out there because I thought the momentum was going to continue to the downside. Now, it's been really light volume on the way back up. Started to pick up a little bit up here at 267, 268. So if you're going to short for reasons, not just because, you know, you're in some of these middle ranges, not really worth it. This one made sense to me because we had these high wicks, and that worked. You know, so we had about $3 there. That's 263, and that's 261, sorry, for $2. So there was opportunities there today for Tesla to make the money. It just, we got sort of screwed up right there, like when we could have just waited. And I was like, oh, well, it's a good thing we didn't wait, right? Well, we could have waited an extra $1 to save us from all of this, but it's fine. It's not a day ruiner or anything like that. It's just, that's too bad because I feel like we had it right, and eventually it went wrong.
Oh, I forgot to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Only because a couple people asked in the chat. Oh yeah, so the phrase used for my Achilles.
Oh, right.
Instead of just telling me that it was like totally torn, he used the language of just because he wanted. Like, I know you went to med school. You're a surgeon. You know what you're talking about. It was a total disruption. Because why say, oh, you have a fully torn Achilles? Instead, he's like, it's a total disruption. Like, come on, man.
Maybe
you
that
don't
is a
need to
medical term.
I don't know
Maybe
if it's a
that
medical
is.
term.
I don't know.
Like, you don't need to overstate it for effect. You know, like, so I'm having surgery on Friday. So we know what's up now.
That's quick. That's a quick turnaround.
I actually smiled to the nurse when they were doing the scheduling when she put the paper down and it's like, it's the 12th. And I was like, and I kind of gave like and she's like, are you excited for surgery? I'm like, no, I just thought I'd be waiting weeks. 2 days? Like, are you kidding me? Go Canada. I'm very impressed. I was actually expecting, you know, you hear all the stories, whatever, free healthcare, you have to wait for a while, but I was
Free
pleasantly surprised.
Oh, don't start.
No, I'm just talking about, like, people will say because of that you have big wait times. I was very pleased that it's only going to be a couple of days worth of a wait.
Healthcare is very expensive in this country, my friend, especially if you pay taxes.
Who pays taxes? I don't pay taxes.
I pay more. I think I pay more for healthcare. I think we all do. We pay more for healthcare living in Canada than if we had our own insurance plans in the States.
Oh yeah, it's probably true. But I mean, you could. I know this really good accountant. He had a lot of like Hollywood clients, Wesley Snipes. I mean, a couple of singers you might know. Trust me, I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to. Not for Wesley Snipes hookup. Right there. All right, Sharif, you got any accounting hookups or what?
Nothing like that, Sean. Obviously, I want to wish Neil a speedy recovery on his surgery on Friday. We want to see him get back into health and very soon, guys. GameStop, no headline. Nothing really on social media that I can glean, but we've seen this before. Stock pumps, and then later on we find out really somebody was buying into it. They tweet something or something the like. You'll see there that we got into that 26.5 right here in the pre-market, came back down later, held that same level, or sorry, 25.5. It did breach 26 today, though, guys. I don't think a lot of us had eyes on this because it was ever so brief. Did you guys look at this one?
Well, I mean, based on the fact that I wasn't here, like, obviously, no, didn't have this breakout. Anybody that, great, look, if you took 25 this morning, but come on, it's right back to where it was before. The story for the afternoon for me on GameStop is usually if it's trending, put in a bottom already and make some higher lows and be above VWAP. So maybe a bottom, but still on the lows. Doesn't look like it's that exciting, except for the fact that 25 is held. So that's about all you got going for this thing. And it's coiling. Remember that Chewy the other day did the same thing? Like, it'd been doing nothing, holding VWAP, holding on the daily chart. And then you got this, like, muted breakout that got everybody excited, and then it pulls right back in. I feel like that's what we're getting today. So 25 looks like a level, but the market is at the high of the day. Excuse me, NASDAQ is going. Palantir just broke out because Palantir is finally getting through 28. There's a lot going on today to the upside without necessarily needing GameStop. Yeah, sure, if you had it early, that's a hell of a trade and a breakout through 25 even, but, you know, unless you want to scalp it off 25, I don't know if there's a trade this afternoon for it.
So many missed opportunities. We're in Roblox, Amazon. I didn't even see this. I mean, I saw the Palantir early. Someone brought it to our attention. I was like, what? So yeah, I did see it, but did miss that opportunity right now. There's a little bit of Roblox. I missed GameStop. So GameStop today, yeah, I feel like, I don't know, were you guys yelling about this in the chat earlier on? I feel like it just happened early, and obviously we were looking at other things, but then the pullback into the 50 period. Like, when stocks are moving, and we'll talk about this with, okay, now Amazon's going down. I'll have to deal with this in a minute, but here comes Amazon AMZN. Finally coming in. So we'll, I have to take some out. We are kind of loaded up right now on Amazon right now. This is a little bit of a revenge trade, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, I got to be honest. I was upset that we didn't hold 199. So then we shorted more, and we just made it back, shorting again, making it back. But we haven't had this dip until just now. We're just breaking back below. So here we go. Yes, sir. Making them sing, Amazon. Make them sing. Right now to the downside. So good little trade here for Amazon. We're still $1 in the money on Apple, and we will not talk about that. All right, let's just go over Sound. I didn't even look at SoundHound either today. Wow. Whoever was in this chat on the midday really got their wish here. It must have been a couple low-voted names today.
I actually voted for Palantir, so maybe I put that one over the top, but...
Maybe your one vote put that over the top. Well, you think no one voted for it?
I don't know.
That was one, maybe. Maybe.
Every vote counts, right?
Ramin said in the midday there was.
Just like in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Especially around here in Canada, right? Like, you don't. There's only two parties. Very easy to vote.
Oh, there's more than two parties
that's what I'm joking. There's so many different like ridings and this and that and by the way, I guess I don't know. We'll talk about politics later. All right, what's up, Sharif?
Oh, we could have talked about it.
SoundHound, Sean. This company, we obviously know NVIDIA invested in this company back, I believe, a few months ago. But they are moving up today after they announced their chat AI voice assistant is going to get integrated with ChatGPT and now is live, Randy, in Peugeot, in Opel, in Vauxhall. So you'll be able to use that prompt orally and when you're in the car. We'll have to see how that does in real life. Up nicely, though, guys, 22% for this name.
I mean, I'm glad the chat does this. That sounds great. Yeah, that's a great one. So again, people, there's a misconception that puns have just started recently. We've been doing these puns for a hell of a long time.
Well, puns.
I mean,
we were doing puns before on YouTube.
It's been taken to another level. Are we ready for a sign here? Because I'm short everything, so that would be nice.
Some things market's going up. The bulls are out. I'm just saying. It's for Sound. This is good. This is great news, by the way, for them. They got their chat AI in Peugeot, and there was a couple of others. I kind of missed the story, but Peugeot already has this rolled out, so AI is going in those vehicles. Great news, 25% short float. It's already breaking out through $5 to get the technicals out there. And Randy, I'm gonna say you love it.
It's coming. I mean, just a matter of time. Is this thing on?
Yes,
it's on.
It's always on. Whenever you're
we actually don't turn it off, I don't think.
It is on.
So like anybody can walk past here and then hijack it just by being on the mic.
No, I think they could turn it off and on over there. Ramin says she has all the powers.
Ram.
Here.
Ramin.
I think AI. I think a lot of people are making car decisions based on some of the tech that's in them, right? I mean, that's what it is right now. So that's a good little look there for SoundHound. I'm actually surprised that we didn't look at it even more today. So Amazon for now, SoundHound for later, I guess. But you have any thoughts on Sound?
No, I don't think, what are you doing with this right now? Buying the literal high of the day?
Right.
It's been a pretty linear move to the upside where most of these are like 15, 20 cent scalps, and then you break out, and then you scalp for a bit. And even the break is there's like 20 cents in there. So I don't know how much more it's got left in it. On the daily, there's room to 550, so I suppose it could do something. But on the 15-minute, there isn't even a red candle. So it's not like if it gives you another one of these, there might be one more shot that it could go parabolic. But it's got to consolidate somewhere before I think it's making another move. Great look. I didn't know. When I was waiting in the waiting room, I was reading stories this morning. I felt like I was just doing the regular thing, and I don't recall seeing this about Sound. So it's a great look. I think you want to see maybe some day two continuation if it can hold VWAP here for the afternoon. We'll see what happens. But good look, runner. 25% short float. I wouldn't be buying the top here. I'd look for some kind of a consolidation, maybe scalp it.
We will. I was going to address somebody about Palantir, but we're going to do that in a couple of minutes when we get there, and they're thanking for the swing trade of Palantir. Yeah, I also like the swing trade of Roblox. We're long Roblox. We just bought some at 34 on that break higher, up to $40 right now, running into a little bit of resistance. We're short here today, but we do like Roblox. For the summertime for sure. See if their daily active users, monthly active users start to get a bump, although they do not broadcast those. anymore. But we'll wait to see what their earnings report comes through. I like Roblox coming through right now into the summer months. So that's a little take there. Hey, the only chip name on the board is AMD. That's a bit strange.
That's surprising.
But they had a crazy move early, which started me down the red path for this stock. Let's go find out the story from Sharif.
Big day today for AMD, Sean. They made an acquisition of what I believe is called Silo Labs AI. This really gives them a foothold into the software aspect of AI. We've seen NVIDIA already dominate that space with their CUDA software. AMD finally getting a foothold there, up 2 3/4 right now, guys. What's the look?
Well, I mean,
yeah, I mean, I could tell you weren't here, so
no, you tell the open. Like,
I can just show it real quickly here. Yeah, so we got that news. This wasn't even on my radar at all, and then all of a sudden, this came through at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 9:05, and then it just started to run up there. We saw Obi. Everyone was going crazy. Obi hit the long at one. I forget where exactly. Maybe it was 180, got some out, then got sort of caught long in here like we all did. Then it dips down in back into basically the pre-market where it started, pre-story, and then it just blasted right up from there. So this is going to be a fun story to tell because it's an interesting one. All right, so for me, it was very, very simple, and I'm fine making this trade. I don't know if I would do it again because it was so early on, and we talked about trying to be patient with early trades. We were not patient here, and that's the problem. So there's the move up, right? And I'll show you why we went long. So here's the pullback into VWAP. The volume's actually pretty good here. Obviously, it's not going to be like it was at the open, but I was watching the levels, and I thought it was trading fine. Nice move up, nice move back. When you get a move up like this and then a move back into VWAP where it was at that time, especially it being in and around 180, then you get the retracement back up. So I feel like we had the retracement there, then the blast up, looking to take out highs. I took out 181. With it, thinking that this was about to happen. So kind of like hide this area over here and just pretend it extended. That's what we had thought, okay? As you can see, it doesn't happen until we retest again. So then it falls all the way back down. Not only does it retest VWAP, look where we get out. So we blast the 181, then we get out at 179.50, but we only get out of 75%. This is the fun part, right? Once it came back down in, then we're like, well, what about 178? And then we're like, okay, now we have to test the 200 and this pull back in. So this is where we got back in, but we did not load up as many shares as we had. So on this move all the way back up, we start scalping out at VWAP, scalping out to 200, getting back up at 180. I mean, at this point, it's a $3 winner. Up all the way up here, it's $5 or more of a winner. But again, we only have a piece on. So we make back more than half, a significant piece. We made it back, but we had to sort of step in front of what could have been a falling knife. So I'm not impressed with this trade. More impressed with the fact that we're able to buy it here. Not happy with that punch there, but it sort of fit the rules. So when that happens, I want to take the trade. So that was the mistake early. Now, if you want to look for a trade now, I'd say break short.
Yeah, it's got
underneath this 181.50. You could break underneath that. You have VWAP, you have the 200, VWAP 250. So I feel like the support is here on the upside, which would be resistance in this case. And we look to see if that support at 181.50 holds. So for me, it's a pretty simple trade right now. Break lower. It's going to have to get help with the market.
Yeah, I was only gonna say if it breaks the support. Like it's that kind of a move in the open. If it loses this level, top, double bottom. If it breaks, look short. Yeah. The other thing I want to add is just because there's no chip names on there, so this might be the time to do it. Micron 4% to the upside. Micron holds the 50 again. Look at it, hold the 50 period. Not bad, Micron. It does it again. That's what it does. But the local resistance is until 137-ish. So kind of a trend up. It's got about $1 to go. So any pullbacks into 135 and a half, 135 look pretty solid for this afternoon. Just watch out for that 137 up top. There's other EVs. There's other chip names doing really well today that are worth pointing out. So I want to make sure we at least acknowledged the 4% club here for Micron and that 50-period moving average on the daily, where look at it consolidate, and then you get the breakout after a few days of consolidation. Always good when a stock is making that hold.
rocketing to the high side as we speak as Palantir. Look at it, printing days high right now. There's really no new catalyst on this one. I saw an article talking about some unusual options activity to the call side from some whales buying that up, but this was a headline yesterday as a result of their new partnership with Oracle, up aggressively right now. Sean must be smiling ear to ear.
And ear to ear.
Wow, Sean.
Yeah, no, we love some Palantir.
You have to give the serious look when he's teased you up like that.
Yeah. So Palantir yesterday, it's funny because it's almost doing the same thing as it did that we crushed. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago when we broke this first time? Yeah, right into there. This was July 9th. Yeah, so yesterday we took out this level and we kind of stopped where we are right now. So I'm kind of wondering about what we're looking at now with Palantir, this 2840. That's exactly the high from yesterday. So it looks like we're trying to break out here. It's kind of a tail. Oh, we already did take that top off. Okay, so 2850. My bad. I didn't realize we took that off. So I don't know. For me, the market is starting to tick down a little bit. It's not setting up for me to go long right now on this name. I'll pull back into the 50, and we got to be all over that. So 28 and change, 28.10, 28.15. And look, someone in the chat said that they wanted to thank me, for sort of having the confidence of Palantir down in this area. You guys know we were buying it down there, but I am going to get some out. I haven't got anything out yet. This is just one of those tops. We asked Brian Shannon about this yesterday. Amanda, we have a great time with him yesterday afternoon as well on the recap show. But I mean, you go top to bottom. It already happened once. You're right back up there right now. Palantir, DraftKings, even like that Sound. I mean, some of these other names on their GameStop, they can all move like 4 or 5% in a day, just almost on nothing. Like even if the NASDAQ decides to retrace back down a little bit, these names will get hit. CRM, little names like that. And there's news on HubSpot right now and CRM and GitLab and all that. Google apparently out of talks for HubSpot right now. So if you go HUBS, this is part of the rally. Wow. I was just looking at this. It was 520 when I heard this story. Here's Hubs right now downside. So it's Google was in talks to acquire HubSpot. Again, they're like a Salesforce. And when that, I'm going to assume, I haven't looked at CRM. I'm going to assume they're down as well on this. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Let's see. So they shot up there. But again, if Google's not looking, let me tell you why I thought, okay, so it's halted now. So HubSpot just halted. The idea here would be, there should be a clip it moment maybe if HubSpot's, I guess it's not that popular, but
it's a big stock.
If Google is not interested in buying your competition, in my opinion, Google's working on something.
Well, either way, I think it's not necessarily. You could play it either way.
This just went up $7 on CRM. That's a short.
I think the problem there is the algos do the obvious thing with like, oh, there's no synergy deal happening. So if HubSpot is going to be a stronger competitor, if Google migrates them in, they just buy that one. It's like sell one, buy the other, and then by the time the algos realize. That's why you get that dump back in very quickly. But it is a halted. Well, it's to determine. I actually got to check here because. When you have news like this, it's worth going to the halt page and just seeing whether it's volatility or news-based. Now, usually it's going to be a volatility halt. It is one, but you never know. Because if it's a news-based halt, you don't want to sit around thinking it's going to open in 5 minutes and then it opens tomorrow. But it's up HubSpot. Yeah, that might have been an opportunity. You got to be able to, when you see that news, if you can quickly digest it, that's why it's valuable to watch here live. If you can get that right away, go over CCR and be like, that doesn't make any sense. Sometimes you catch that trade. The only thing I wanted to add for Palantir is this 2840 level. We talked about it yesterday as well. So there is 2840, which was the top. The longs never did any, longs at the high never did any better than getting to 2840. So again here, there wasn't much that was amazing after I sat down and started in, but 28 to 2840 makes sense. I think if you can dip back in along this trend line, which is not from the morning, the trend is from when it broke out. So I have the trend from support when it broke out, and that would be about 2810. If it dips back into 2810, I think it's worth a shot on PLTR. The only other thing I'm in, Amazon we've already gone over, and Rivian, because Tesla's a beast. Rivian consolidating over its breakout high. 6% to the upside, Rivian today. after a good day yesterday, but a failure to push through that $16 level, yeah, you're getting it here. Just watch out. You know what happened on that Volkswagen news the first time, and how it reversed heavy through like 17 bucks. So I think 17 is going to prove to be a bit of resistance, but consolidation off 16.5, looking for that press and continuation to the upside. Right now, unless AMD breaks the low, which nothing doing just yet, unless AMD breaks, I don't really see any new entry points into anything imminently anyways. You could still get some dip buys in Palantir possibly, maybe a little something there in Tesla as well.
Maybe some of these names don't want to do anything. I'm sitting here in Roblox not doing anything. I'm sitting here. I've reloaded Amazon a couple times and really enjoyed trading this, but it's just dripping now. It's not really doing anything. So we'll wait to see if Amazon, okay, I mean, thankfully I just talked about it. Maybe it'll come back in a little bit. I'm bidding 31s. Let me take something out maybe here at 45 if we can get that. We'll sit on a lit gateway. Hopefully it'll fill us and we'll get a little bit more on this one. So again, Amazon, little tricky here. We'll see if we can get a couple fills and hopefully it will drop. I'm not certain on shorting any more of this. So we'll probably stay away and we'll short a little bit more at 60 if it comes in there, but no more in this range, and then hope for a push back in, especially if this market fails. We are also short of course, on Roblox. And then just to talk on Apple. Apple's at the 50 period. We did well on Apple today. We got that story that came through. Our first buy on Apple today was 230, and again, it's a sticky note. We wrote down 230. We took it. That was it. I just peed off. I don't have Tesla 265 break like we wrote down as well. But right there, 230 was a great one. That was good. We got a piece out there, our last piece out at 231.30. So that was $1 and change. Then that news came out and we bought it early. We did get stopped out, but we bought it back. We were making money, bought it back again there, making a little bit of money. There's a stop out right into here where we got stopped out, but then we bought it back again. And now we're just holding our last piece. So kind of flat, a bunch of flats in here. And I was just thinking like, shouldn't be punching out all the time so quickly on some of these moves, especially when it's news-based. So you see the volume spike there as Apple and Bloomberg report comes out and says that Apple's looking at about a 10% or so boost in iPhone production due to the AI demand that it will hit in this next
Doesn't Bloomberg
cycle.
usually say
Bloomberg is full of crap.
But usually it's the other way
stories.
on specifically on Apple.
Yeah,
Almost, I think like 9 times out of 10 when we've heard one of those stories, it's been the other way for Apple.
Well, they had that story about China sales being bad, and then 2 days later they had record sales out of China or something.
Yeah, that was just one of like 3.
That's what I was going to say, and there was a few other ones. I shouldn't say that. I don't know anything about.
No, but I remember that run.
I mean, I'm sure the thing is probably somebody working at Bloomberg is probably.
It's like where is the story
one
coming?
doing
What's
it, and
the
we got it from
source?
Benzinga, so that was a good platform.
Yeah. Well, all you care about is the reaction on the news. Hey, man, does it follow through? If it starts following through, play the trend.
Yeah.
I was looking at Mara here because I was going over some of the stuff from yesterday, like the stocks from yesterday, and Mara and the 19 level, it was dumping all yesterday, and then late in the day, you had that push at 3 o'clock back in the 19 quarter. So it looks like another stair step to the downside here. But yeah, 19 even looks like it's going to be a level here on Mara. Might have missed an opportunity. Next available pop. Let's see if it puts in another rejection of 19 even. And then I remembered before it gets to 19, I actually have to, I haven't even logged in to pay for locates, but yesterday we had to pay for locates on Mara. Today we also have to pay for locates. So I got to go log in. It's usually something I do when I sit down as I log into Metro, but
Right, yeah.
I still have to do that compliance test too.
Yeah, do that. We don't.
Last second, baby.
Yeah, we don't want more sim modes right now. We did. I passed mine last week. I think on the last day. I almost think I went over.
I got 3
wonder if
weeks.
there's some grace period.
I got time.
Yeah, I know. I thought I want to do it before I went. Okay, Hubs is now back. So let's have a quick look. Lower. So, right. So Alphabet apparently. Again, this is a report, by the way, that maybe, Derek, can you find out some more about this story here with HubSpot? Because it's just a report that Google shelved it. I don't actually know. And again, Neil and I will talk about, there it goes, 465 and change. Like, what if Google comes out and says, nah.
Shouldn't we need to hear from Google specifically
I don't know, that's
on
what
this?
I'm saying. Is this another one of those reports?
It should be halted on news, Adam. That's
No. Well, so I was looking at that. That's what made me come to that conclusion of, is it really a story here? Because I was thinking that it halted on volatility down there, but where's the news pending halt? But again, it's not really news. They don't have to announce anything. It's
No, they
just
don't.
A company was interested in buying you. I mean, that's not, You don't necessarily need to put a press release out for that, I don't think. But there it comes now anyways. Wow. Look at this move down. Yeah, here it comes. So the move is happening right now for HubSpot down to 455. I could have made my year there because I was, honestly, it was at 520 when I had first heard the story. And I was just like, okay, what exactly does this mean and so on? Because look at that, it just jumped right there, $20. Like that bottom where I was just looking at was 455. We just got to 467 right now, so that's $11, $12. And I think we just wicked up there to 473. So we just wicked $20 there.
That's an understatement when you make that comment, but if you hit that beginning, and I won't name any names, but the single biggest swing I've ever seen for a day trader or ever heard the story of was years ago when a deal collapsed. And I'm not going to pretend it was in the right direction. It was actually someone that got caught long one of those moves. Yeah. Because essentially, it's not just the bid evaporating; it's the algos that usually make a market on it are market making. They're actively holding spread, and you have traders that trade for the inside scalp and $500 stock, you're scalping it for 50 cents and $1, and in positions that might be a little bit bigger than normal because it's not moving as much because there's a deal and there's that arb that goes on, the risk arb. So when they pull that, it gets really, 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 really nasty. I've been on the other end of that a couple times. So I'm not thinking about it long here. I'd love to hear a bit of an update to the story. Adara, anything?
I don't have an update for that Google HubSpot story right now, though I did look into it. So far, it is just a Bloomberg report. So they're reporting that Google is shelving its interest in HubSpot. Not been confirmed by either company as of right now. Another thing to keep an eye on, though, right now, Carvana, not moving too much here. A slight volume candle pop on this, but basically T. Rowe Price Associates, this is an asset management firm, reporting a 10% passive stake in Carvana as of July 10th. So Carvana getting some interest from asset managers here. CVNA, guys.
Carvana was another one. These squeeze names are impressive the last little bit, because when you had price target 0 and then all of a sudden, you're breaking the backs over and over again of shorts. Now, candidly, caveat, it did fail a high today. So there is that. It got to the 52-week high and failed it, but that just means you could set up another consolidation and maybe a higher low into it. So double top here at 135. All you need to do is put in a higher low. This could go squeezing again. Just the way it failed today, I don't know if the trade's going to be today, to be honest, on CVNA. Not sure it's going to be today. You got $5, $6 to go till you get back into that high. Seems like a bit of a nothing burger, at least in terms of a squeeze break. Tesla, on the other hand, it's actually dipping in here. Yep. Yeah, okay. Well, kind of looking for where the next support was going to be. This was a double top breakout price at 265.5. So this would be the spot if you're going to hold up. You kind of got to hold up here. I just want to see if AMD is making any moves. Wow, AMD is not even trying to go up. It's not really trying to break that flat bottom, but it's $1 away from the flat bottom. So that's not going to be an imminent trade at all, that short in AMD. Got to hunt somewhere else, maybe.
Yeah, you know what? I was yesterday. We crushed that Nike trade about this time. Here's another name that's getting killed today for some reason. I mean, killed. I don't know. It was way worse before. Uber down 3%. In a market that's up 1%, you wouldn't think that this sort of wannabe tech giant, I guess, makes this move down. So 68.50 today for Uber. And again, it doesn't look like Nike does because it's not really trending right now. But I just wanted to look at this because we were down 3%. I would say play back to view up again for the short, but that's 20 pennies away. Just wanted to look at that as there's been some people looking. So that's that one. Intel today as well. A name that we haven't looked at yet. Pretty choppy, 34. Obviously a great little level there to have been bought. What does it look like on a 20-minute chart? Yeah, 33. I mean, I don't know if I would have. I mean, that dip would have been great if you were looking for a dip because you would have said, okay, look at all this stuff here. You could maybe hold it for 20 cents against you and you would have got much more than that. So maybe 34 break there from the past. You take that as a hold this morning, but that's tough. Oh, no, this morning is, the 10th. So, yeah, we're right here. So it does dip down into $34. Good little level there, right into there for Intel if we're lucky enough to get that. Roblox finally starting to come down a little bit. We'll see if that can print a little bit there for us. And it's not really doing that much. And then Apple still in the pocket as well. We'll have another look at some of these names. Oh, Wells Fargo, by the way. This might be tanked. I don't know. No, okay. So Here we go. We traded banks today, and we're up on it, so that's good. We shorted Wells Fargo. We've shorted Wells Fargo here. It looked like it was going to break that bottom, so we shorted initially, got it back to the 50, took it out. I mean, these are all winning trades. So let me see, zoom back in. There it is. Nice trading at 59.60 up to the 50 period, went down, comes right back to the 50 period. Again, guys, we shorted more, and then the collapse happened. Again, just working perfectly, comes back to the 50, right? Look at this. Then we stop out for 6 cents. So still a very positive name, and honestly, that to me is how I want to play the reloads every time. Into the 50, this was not patient, but into the 50, boom, into the 50, boom, into the 50, out. So this trade here was 56s, so 59, 56. Those outs are 40s. So that's 16 cents. Obviously, our first out is that 6 cents, which is that hit right there. So it started to make that profit and we gave it some back. I mean, you know, when you're scalping, you got to give some back sometimes, and that's what that happens right there. Up to the 50 period, sorry, the VWAP right now could be a short looking here. I'm still going to hold on to Roblox. Again, we said we're probably not going to reload anything on Amazon, but it was a good thing we just got 45s out there. So that was a good out for us. Let's just hold on, hope that Roblox will give us something to the downside. Now a dime in the money, but it just keeps, we just got to fill, by the way. Just keeps on doing the same thing here at 45. So if there's another name you guys want to talk about.
Snowflake just went red.
Oh, did it? Okay, yeah, I haven't looked at
Only because it was a V-shaped recovery on Snowflake. I just see Elon in the chat there mentioning Snowflake. This is a name that, I was talking about this yesterday. I'm looking for a spot to maybe pick this one up in the long term, maybe waiting for more confirmation of strength, because it's another day where you just sort of dumped it off in the morning, but difference being V-shaped recovery. I just don't love the fact that he gets right into the highs and pulls back in. If this can take out 138, I'd much rather be looking for the long. It's just, the problem is, again, the 50 period, that's not looking very good. Yeah, it's on the daily chart. It's still trending back into the downside. I don't really love it. Hard to say we like that one. I like the V-shaped recovery, but it's already at the top, unfortunately. So good call, good luck. It just went red to green, but it's kind of failing holding it. I'd rather be short a weak stock. Say that. And then Amazon. Amazon's a weird one because when I sat down, again, when I was like waiting for my appointment, I was like, Bezos still has 78% or 80% or whatever the heck, 75 to 80% to still sell, and all of that overhead resistance is still there, 200 to 201. But Amazon gets right back into the high, went for the lower high short. That was the wrong thing. Shorted off of this previous low. But if it breaks out the top, you almost have to wait for the money fills, which have been short over 200. Short over 200 has really been the spot on Amazon, and then it doesn't seem to get to the 200 half level. If we do break out this local high, just going to have to be patient with it. That Hubs is certainly making its way back. It's almost back at $500. So some people still like it, apparently. Like, it's not completely falling apart. It's down 11%, but it's already come back like $50 here, or $40 off the bottom. So not bad, but this one might be done. We'll always keep our ear to the ground to see if there's anything else on there for Hubs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you don't want to necessarily jump into these things right away.
That would have been a good one.
See what the answer is to the question if you have one. All right, Roblox, still the same thing. What else you guys want to do? CMG, let's look at some CMG. Okay, Chipotle Mexican Grill. We've been talking about some of these retail names getting hit recently. And Chipotle today, a nice little recovery. It was lower earlier for CMG, but yeah, nice little move now. Bouncing, look at that. Look at that VWAP or trace, man. Come on, that's a good trade. What's up, Adara?
Nice pop here for Amazon a little bit, getting mild volumes, but in that previous candle there. We do have The Athletic reporting that the NBA has finalized its TV deals with a couple different areas, so ESPN, NBC, and Amazon, though TNT still has a shot, according to this Athletic report. But AMZN getting this deal here or finalizing a deal with the NBA is reported by The Athletic, guys.
All right, so we're going to get stopped out of Amazon. It's right here at 70. This is the high. We're short at 63s, so I'm pretty fine with that. Obviously, things have changed. When stuff changes with a name, you don't necessarily need to stay with it. We talked about how Apple had that move today, and then, you know, boom goes the dynamite. It starts to go back up to the upside on some more AI talk. And here we go. So if we just break, I thought I was at 71.
I'm at 72.
Yeah, so basically right here, right now, I can cancel a little bit. Yeah, whatever.
Maybe you'll get to watch Zach Eddy on
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the break. Memphis right
Dude, he had a
right?
pretty good opening game.
Yeah, are they already doing summer ball right
Oh, yeah.
now?
It's,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because
Bronny
Bronny
got hurt and all that crap.
Well,
right
it's
now.
not funny. I'm not laughing at Bronny getting hurt.
Oh, no, but just how much hype that's getting,
Yeah.
right, with Braun. Okay, again, from Madeira.
Popping up here, nice volume spike and price spike here for RGTI. This one up about 17% right now. Quantum Research here posting on X that they like this name because of the strength in quantum computing, also because apparently Rigetti has partnered with NVIDIA in the past. So saying quantum is the next AI play, RGTI getting the Citron Research nod. Also worth noting they have a short float of about 12.3%, guys.
This is making me really
That's a
think
dollar break, too.
This is making me really think that I need to be buying Amazon now. It doesn't even want to break this 70 level. So you know what? See the case. So we're out. Now you know what? Like I'm going to switch to the long and it's going to not work out. But you are already right, though. I think we want to make sure that the $200 level is something. So
That's the one. I'm mad at myself because, you know what? I feel like I only shorted it at VWAP because that was the trade that I wanted this morning. If I'd been here, I felt like that was the only... When I was just looking, and again, I was on my phone. It's not like I was sitting here with a million charts or anything. But yeah, if it gets to 200, it's been the over 200 where the program selling has definitely stepped in almost every single day. Like it looks strong, and then it gets to $200, and then somewhere in there is going to be the curl. But Rigetti, the first thing that popped into my mind is the Yankees reliever every time I hear that name.
Dave?
Yeah, Dave Rigetti, 46 saves. He used to be the American League record holder. I'm old, so the 80s was the thing for me in baseball. But a dollar breakout, essentially, yeah, let's look for a dip buy. Whoops, that's the wrong way. I want to go to the daily chart. Let's look for a dip because it just got to the 200 period. You know, obviously the quarter mark, like a dollar quarter makes sense. But if you look at it on the daily, it's about 110. Like the 50 period's at 110, the previous high is at 110. You get a dip back into anywhere near the $1.10. I think the teens would be good, but it doesn't even seem like it wants to slow down. Here on Rigetti. Wow, it's actually accelerating, believe it or not. Okay, Rigetti's going ham. I didn't check the float on this, and apologies if Adara said it, but I want to know. We know it's 15% short. Ooh, it's actually 142 million. Pretty decent sized float. I was expecting a little bit smaller than that. Under 50, I would have thought maybe it could go a little more parabolic, but still going to look for a dip buy. If it's the teens, great. If it's not, look for a consolidation here. It is good news. I like the fact that it's rounding off a dollar, and it's not gone so far on this move that you're now in the midst of nowhere in the daily chart. Like you're not going ham to $2 yet. Yeah. I think maybe a dip buy into 110 is going to be the play for me.
All right, we're trying to do better and better at this, and you know, again, we said we'd try to flip over into the long now for Amazon, so we're going to try it back to 70. We saw that 70 was trying to backfill down there, so we'll see again if that's the case. So we went long. We just took some out at 86 right there. We're only long at. Well, now it's 83. We had a little bit of a better price before. Let's see now if we can climb. There we go. We get some 90s there as it's trying to blast through and people print through the bid or through the ask. So there we go. Good little fill there. Now let's see if we can get a little bit higher. Oh, sorry. Did we get 90s? No, sorry. We got 89s there. My bad. Did not print over the ask. I thought sometimes if you're on a paid gateway, some orders will run up for you. So, all right, here we go. Let's go. We're back into business right now. We'll turn our frown upside down here on Amazon and see if we can print a little bit higher. Some 91s, now some 95s. So again, have that ability to flip up the game, right? I mean, it was a short. Obviously, we talked about why with Bezos and so on and so forth. But right now Amazon gets NBA, or at least some of it. We already know that they're paying billions and billions of dollars, literally, for NFL. And I guess that's working out. And right now, they like it. They like it a lot. So, some of these companies can only get content now through live television. I mean, a lot of the programming, especially with the strike being back, there's a lot of programming happening. But live television, there's only so many properties. So that's
sports is the last ditch.
Right, that's the last sort of thing to drop, right? I mean, so if you can get the rights to NBA, Christmas NBA games, or the Thursday night games like Amazon has, like there's only one game on Thursday night, right? And so now Amazon... For now, exactly. So now Amazon has it, right? And
wait till the NFL's like 25 games long, because that's what they do.
Yeah. Well, these guys want to get paid more, right? So they gotta start to have more games.
You will get an 18-game season and bigger roster.
Yeah. And hopefully MLB goes the other way, right? I feel like
they've been talking about shorting the season back to 150 for a while, and it's like if that's what it used to be, it makes a ton of sense, man. Like you expanded the playoffs without pulling back the regular season, which never made sense. The whole point was to go back to 154 and expand the playoffs. But anyways, it is what it is. Guys are throwing so hard now. Everyone's busting their elbows up like anything else. I did pull a dip buy into Rivian. So Rivian broke out 165.55 was this top. It dipped into it. It got to 74 actually, but got filled 73 and just put a dip buy in on Rivian. That Rigetti still chilling. It's not much of a dip. There's no point sitting here at 14. So it got to 134. Now it's starting to come back in. So this is the first real sell volume coming into the stock. VWAP sits at 118 for what it's worth. I haven't paid for locates. They're probably really cheap. If they're really cheap, I should probably just get them. But the 1/4 is actually holding now. So the first dip is trying to hold a 125 level here. Yeah, there's a lot moving around today. I see people asking about like Peggy, but Rigetti's the one doing the volume right now.
Rigetti. I'm always.
But it is called Rigetti.
No, I know. And that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's not spelled the same way.
You had mentioned that.
They spelled it the wrong way.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Let's just see what happens here at 200. So again, we're back up here. I'm going to take another out at 99s if we can get it. There we go. We got it. Let's hope we blast. Honestly, that's our only chance. We've been talking about it. Neil and I both mentioned that we like the sell side of this trade at 200. It's right here, right now. I didn't believe the 199 short. So we're actually going to be pretty flat right now. Like if this breaks 200 and we can get to $200.15 or so, then we'll be green on Amazon today. We fought the short here. We had won, we had lost. Right now, when it started to blast up there, that was a little bit of a loco move as we were trying to get that short. We did give some back on that name. I'm taking more out here at 99 because we just broke it and it failed break. So fail break, 2 bills right there. Mr. Bezos trying to dump out some of these shares, I guess, at this level. And we already know that. So that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to act like this is rocket science here or anything like that. Let's get it out. If it doesn't break, we know why. I feel like there is this automatic seller here all the time. We've seen it now day after day. I mean, today in the pre-market couldn't get going. All day yesterday didn't get going. It got going one time, which is what I'm hoping for now. A little bit of a blast up. Let's take note that some of these highs are at 40 cents and 30 cents. So let's just take note of that in case we do blast a little bit here. These are the levels of interest for me. So into the 30s, into the 40s for Amazon if we get going. I'm going to put something right now at like 15s. That's kind of the level that we need. Fitting. We'll put it right there, see if we can get something out if it does break. I'm going to hold.
Brett, hold that.
16, Brett.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah. All right, so let's wait to see here. I'm going to go at 15. I can't even think of a hockey player at 15 right now, but we will wait to see Thomas Caberlet, I think, of Maple Leaf Great, who I met at the Hockey Hall of Fame a couple months ago.
I loved Caberlet. I was a fan. I should be happy with 15. My daughter's wearing 15 this year.
Oh, nice.
But she doesn't. She actually doesn't like the number.
Right, they never do they?
No, when with the kids' jerseys, when it's not like select or anything, like you get it based on the size that fits.
Yes.
Right? So she needed a smaller jersey. This Rigetti is starting to get higher. He's got to 138. So it's still going. Remember, 150 on the daily. Check that. 145 on the daily is the big one. So it gets there, and I would curl out of it. Like if there's any fail above $1.40, the stop immediately runs to like 37, 38, something along those lines. Thank you very much, D-Lo, for the super chat. 75% cash across 4 accounts. Too bearish here now? Well, I don't know, like what kind of account is it? Like it's active trading account, swing account? I'm assuming you're talking about a swing account. Staying nimble in a swing account is never the worst thing. You can always find something to get it into. But in the long term, I never had that much cash in my retirement account is never that much. But that's just me. Everyone has different time frames and different plans. If it's an active trading account, sometimes you want to stay nimble when you're at these highs and you've taken your profit. But that's why you ring the register. Because at any moment, anything can happen. So there's a bit of a fail at that 140 level.
Which one?
No, it's this Rigetti in here. So I'm going to get out. Again, this is the next level on the daily. We would have liked to dip into 110 to 115 a bit better. It held 125 to 123. And then you go right to 140 on the daily, which is this level in here. Spikes it. That would be the next step up. And I'm just going to get out. If it breaks out from there, maybe like a 150 break will be in play. But you got to take these runners when they give it to you, because at the end of the day, they can come back in pretty heavily. I just want to check in on Hubs.
Oh yeah, Hubs.
It is so tempting to want to short Hubs, and it went to $500.03.
What happened to my Amazon here?
And then right now it's down at $4.90. Tricky trade. The spread's $1.50.
What? On Hubs, that's it?
It was tighter, but no, it was tighter before.
Oh, what?
Oh no, up here. Oh yeah. Up here it was definitely tighter. And on the way down, the spread was probably humongous. But when it started to consolidate up here, the spread was better than $1.50. But a bit of a wide spread there on Hubs, making that power move. Still nothing going on AMD. I don't know what to tell you. AMD's the flat bottom break on AMD. It's at that VWAP now. I just want to short it at VWAP. I like VWAP. All right, Fed pivot.
Fed pivot is happening?
Yeah, if it breaks 183, I'm going to look short to 183 quarters here on AMD. I know it's a strong stock, up 3%. I just sort of see like that it's a sharp rejection with successive lower highs. So if it puts in another lower high, this would be the spot. So I just want to see it give like the fake out above VWAP, and if it comes back down, try to grab the short on the way back in. Sean Legend in the chat there. Good name. SEAN though, which is fine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
More than one way to spell Sean, that's for sure.
Yeah,
only one way to spell Neil.
Yeah, there's only one way.
Intel chart still not at $35. 35.40. I'm missing some data here, but 35.40 would be the big level of resistance. Intel punched through 35.40. I like the long that isn't the dip buy. Like it's the only place I like a breakout on Intel. 35 even. I guess there's still room, and it is breaking highs here. Yeah, you have enough room. That's still 1% on Intel. If it can get through the high of the day. But it's literally at the high of the day now. And I don't want to punch long at the high on anything. I want to get dip buys if we can, or consolidation. So maybe something back into 75 is what I would do. Already in Rivian, which is trying to go. Tesla, which we mentioned, was starting to pull back in there. Still lower highs and lower lows for now, but it has a chance to maybe start going again. Looking like if it holds a higher low now, Tesla can get going. So I got the eyeballs on, we're in Rivian, I got the eyeballs on Tesla and AMD currently for this little VWAP test. It's getting above VWAP now. So make the press over VWAP, looking for a curl in here somewhere soon. If it blasts up to 184, I'm not going to be taking short.
I was thinking the same thing. I was looking at it because I was like, NVIDIA bounced off VWAP to the downside, and now AMD is trying to take it out.
Oh, NVIDIA's under?
So, no, well, it...
Oh, no, wow.
What did I say? Bounced off of it, right? So it went down to it, didn't it? Yes.
Oh, yeah, bounced off.
That's what I was...
I misheard you.
You know, I just wanted to go back to make sure I was right. Yeah, so we already bought this dip. This is why it's like, I sit here and I watch Amazon and I'm missing this trade because that happened again. We already, like, look, we've already did this. That's not VWAP. There's VWAP on the dip back in. There's VWAP on the dip back in, like a couple wicks underneath. I mean, this is what I mean by make the easy trades. You know, there's a lot of easy trades. And they might not work out, but the trade themselves, like the idea behind it is easy. And that's what you're trying to do, make replicable trades so you can go back and forth. All right, so we had noticed, obviously, that there was some sell pressure there. Our last out is 96. As it started to fade back out, we took some more out there through 96. So we'll wait to see now. I do have another bid on Amazon. I'm actually going to, I just changed the shares. I'm going to bid like a couple down here in the 70s. Oops, just got blasted up. We actually got missed there. We're at 76. We'll see if we can get some more shares on this trade. Just let's buy some 79s maybe here if we can get it. It looks like it does want to make that move higher here for Amazon. Let's just see. Our target to get stopped out if it does break was 67s. The 50 period is in and around there. Maybe we have to change that as it's changing. Now I don't know why we had 67 before. Oh, I know why. Okay, so it's because that guy at 70. So I was taking this trade because of 70s. So that's the reason why. So I wanted to see if 70 was going to hold because when it was over here, it kept on resisting the break down lower. So I'm going to give this one to 70 again. So let's see if we can reload this a little bit down here into the 70s and then punch out if it breaks through 70. So that was the plan of action here on Amazon heading into the close. So it's 253. We still got a long ways to go on this whole market. Whether or not this market pulls back now is another thing. You're up 1%. And I can't even really look at charts for the NASDAQ because I don't know. I mean, we just had that question from D-Loaf about being in cash. I don't know, man. I mean, this is, look at this. Like you've been if you got into cash here or here or here, any of the last 6 days, you've missed out on that. But it doesn't necessarily mean like 1%, like those of you that have a little bit of age to you, I mean, this market, or you only have to be, I guess, looking at the market the last couple of years, this can retrace a lot down. Like, you know, the fact that we're up 1%, the NASDAQ could retrace a couple, 10%, 15%.
Easy.
Back down. So, being in cash is not necessarily the worst idea, but yeah, it does look like you are fighting the trend right there.
You have to remember too, like if
Amazon's
you're still getting 5 points on your cash. You're still getting
so you still have
good points on your cash. It gets so different. Like for most of the time, you weren't getting jack, right? And like that's a different environment. Like, you take some profit, you got somewhere to put it. Put it back to work. And the fact that it's working and getting you good money now, it's hard for that to be a bad thing. But I say that as somebody, like the first thing I did when I sat back down today or when I got in and Tesla broke the high was like I just sold like 10% of my Tesla yesterday. And it took 24 hours. I'm like, oh, this looks like a pretty good top there on Tesla. I rejected 265. 24 hours later, it was breaking it back out again. And the same thing happened when I sold 10% of Eli Lilly. It wasn't 24 hours, but it was like, I don't know, 3 days, maybe. It was less than a week. It's like, oh yeah, there's another top where you sold a little bit. You thought you were trimming. I was. And thankfully we didn't trim too much there. That's another thing that I had to hire a guy to do the lawn and the hedges.
You did? Oh yeah, because of your foot. Yeah.
I can't do jack. That's the most frustrating thing.
It'd be great if the guy's name was Jack that you hired, but I don't think.
I should remember his name.
Yeah,
that's bad. It wasn't Jack though. I remember Jack from our trainee group though. You remember Jack?
I remember Jack, kind of.
Yeah, that was hard.
That wasn't his full. Wasn't he a European guy?
Jack? No.
I'm thinking about somebody else.
Jack was the guy that worked at the post office before.
Yeah.
I don't think he was. Well, I mean, yeah, probably was European, but.
That's what I said. I think his name was like Euroslav or something.
It was a fun group. AMD off of VWAP. Yeah, Sebastian, FOMO is everywhere. If you sell anything at a high, be ready for FOMO. That's just how it is. Sell strong stocks at highs to trim, whether it's just managing your portfolio or whatever. You're just going to be mad at yourself at some point.
Okay,
but
come on,
you do it. But VWAP on AMD here, it just found a buyer at 182.60s. So I took some out there. I got 182.5 for the next out. But if this makes a higher low, remember, it's making higher lows into VWAP. So if it holds here, not great for the short. I looked over. I didn't realize the move that NVIDIA was making there. So I am keeping an eyeball on NVIDIA because that really bounced off VWAP NVIDIA. So if that follows through, I gotta respect that at least a little bit. So if I see some follow through on NVIDIA, then I'll respect that on AMD and maybe just get some more out in the 60s. We're getting into power hour. And I see that strength coming back into the market. You got to take the profit where it lies. Oh, and Rigetti, whatever, underneath VWAP, if it can't get back above, maybe this one's done till it gets to $1. The dollar retrace, I think, would be interesting because this was $1.01 was the low of the day before this news. If it comes all the way back, that's a tasty long at 103 or 104, maybe even like a 105. Like I love trades like that. Where it's like, yeah, whatever. If they decide to follow it through on the news, you risk 3 or 4 cents. It's different when you're buying highs. When you're buying in front of an implicit support level, there certainly can make some sense. But let this one calm down a little bit here on Rigetti. Tesla all the way back to 265.
Yeah, I saw that. Big tank.
Now it's trying to, okay, maybe this is a spot if it can hold this low.
He's tanking.
Gestonken.
Yeah.
Who used to say that? There was a guy. Debo.
Yeah, exactly. When you just said that, I was like, that's an easy one, but I forgot who it was, but you're right. Okay, so look, unfortunately, this is what I mean. It's hard to trade when you're not exactly watching the stock. Amazon breaks 70, we get out. It falls into the 50s, into this area. We bought some more, and now we're long. And we just covered some back into the 75 area again, and it looks like 70 wants to hold. So we're long at 58. I'm going to put another offer up here. Sorry, I used to use bats. I don't want to use them for some reason. I don't know why I never use them. Back in now to the upside near 199.68. I just don't trust. There we go. We're sitting there right now, and of course, bats disappears, and we're we're on NASDAQ, so hopefully we get that, Phil. Oh, sorry, we're at 69. All right, so hopefully we get back upside there and can get back, but it looks like maybe 70 there. It broke it, it didn't break it. Still don't want to be too much in love with this because, again, we've talked about the story here with Amazon. If we do break too much lower, we have to get out. So I was just looking at some of these levels that we had a hard time holding is 40s. That seems like that's too low. Amazon there just bounced real hard off 200, and you could look at all the notes, man. Everything we've been talking about. Amazon up at 200, we've been talking about that being a short. So we did pretty good by getting the long in the 80s and getting the majority of them out up here. But we talked about holding like a third for that big move up into 220 30s. That didn't happen, and now that fade comes through. Maybe we bought a bottom, maybe we didn't, but we don't need to stay around for too long. A break of 199.50, and we'll get out. We've been getting out of some roadblocks. Apple keeps on ticking higher, so at least as far as that is concerned, we're doing pretty good there for Apple. But here comes Amazon back into the 50s. It doesn't look like this last little bit will work. We're long here at 58. But as you can see, we did get, boom, like there's the 58s and there's the outs to the upside. So take advantage of some of the scalping moves. But I'm not sure this market's a scalping market, but it looks like maybe it is here today. See, look at that. Look at that big move down there as we get ready to get out here on a break of 50. It looks like temporarily it might have just held.
Yeah, it looks like some things are starting to come back in a little bit, and holding on by a wick is what Rivian is doing as I look back over. So let's just tighten that up. I always like to make sure if things get, like 16.5 is a round number, but the buying is not at that price.
Right.
It's actually, if you look at it, it's at 55, 54, and 55. Over and over again. So early on in the consolidation, like who cares? But when it dumps back in and is looking a bit weaker, no, I don't want this breaking like 52. No need to give it more than that 10 cents. A VWAP retrace isn't crazy. I would say like the steep trend is kind of broken when it tried to run that high. So the reload, we're not going to give it that much more room. Oh, I was looking at, darn it, it was Snowflake.
Yes, you were mentioning that.
So Snowflake is stair-stepping to the downside. I kind of felt like this wasn't worth it. And now that the market is holding the high, keeps wicking the same top on the overall market, and it's lower highs on snow. So I'm kind of starting to like this one to the south side. We don't have to pay for locates on snow, I know that much. But I'm going to get in short here off of this lower high in Snowflake. It's weaning me in. When it was looking a little bit stronger, I wasn't all that for it. But when the market's making the same high and the stock is making lower highs, I tend to think it's a relatively weak stock. It's still red. Tried to go red to green. I'd have been all for it if this was a breakout. And if it went green and took out this resistance here, I'd be talking to you about going long. But it was a good point in the chat was just made. You got to trade the price action.
Right.
Like I can want Snowflake to go up. I can want it to break the 50 period so I can go long on my personal account. But none of that matters if it's making lower highs and currently seeing a little bit of heavy price action. So if it gets to VWAP, I don't want to have missed this completely. That is $1.50 to VWAP for Snowflake. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to get inside this consolidation. This lower high here is like 137.10. I think you give it to 20s. And call it a day. If it breaks out that lower high, fair enough. I'll be happy that the stock went up, but ultimately going to look to grab this short in here in this consolidation. Would like an average price in the 80 range. So I'll take some on the breakdown, and then we'll have to wait till it gets back up into the 90s, if it even does. And then we'll risk into 137.25.
Yeah, we're Amazon just back and forth here a little bit, so it breaks 50s and we wind up getting out. So it's not much happening for me right now. We got long, we got out. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to reload it. I still think there's a long here somewhere. I mean, but we were short, and we should have been more short up here. Should have just waited for 200 and then shorted it, but we didn't. Roblox still only 10 cents. Okay, just listening. There's something. No, nothing happening. Another Biden interview being scheduled, apparently. So you know what we haven't looked at in a while was
DJT, I was going to say.
$29.
If it's not going up now.
Not much happening. Down 3%. Yeah, it should be going up now, right? But again, maybe, I don't know. It's hard to think about this name because it does trade a little differently.
You know what you can do for the stock like this?
Yeah, I mean, what?
Like it does a lot of these dumps. I'm only looking at the chart here. It does a lot of these like consolidations down, and then you just look for a big reversal. So look at not yesterday. Look at this last week, Friday. Friday's bottom, $28.70. So it's in dump mode. Okay, fine. You don't have a reason why you'd want to go long the stock, so whatever. You're not really paying too much attention until it gets down to $28.70, and then you just want to see some kind of a reversal down around that price. So this is what happens when it breaks $28.70 the first time. And you know what candle there on the biggest volume of the day, twice the size of any other volume candle. The next candle, you get another run of the low, but then it ends up closing above the previous low. Then you get a consolidation at same price, $28.60. Okay, there you go. That's your shot. Try that long, give that to there. And you make one trade on DJT, unless you're just short all day. Like, that's obviously a different story. But I know some people only like going long these stocks. Maybe they can only go long. You just have to wait for some kind of stupid volume bottom. And you might sit there all day and not actually get that setup. But when it does, it's like GameStop. Like when they do make a bottom, sometimes you get a pretty good rally in it. There, I saw a question in the chat about AMC, and it was like essentially why is Vanguard buying AMC? And
Why are they?
I feel like AMC. No, questions like that. I forgot to say anything about it, but a lot of times there doesn't necessarily have to be an obvious logic to it, but there is something to be said about these squeeze names that have been not, like the range is pretty reasonable and they've been holding these lows. And I don't wonder if you aren't going to start seeing different types of participants just take shots at them when they make these like consolidative bottoms like this. And then it does one squeeze at, just 1 or 2 days, and this thing could go parabolic. Because look at it hold. We saw this with Chewy. We've seen this with GameStop's been sort of just doing, like, look at GameStop right now. I don't know. Like, you could do worse and say, okay, well, if it's just sitting here holding $22 and it's at $23, $24, that's not that bad. You're risking like 10%, and it does one good squeeze. Great. How long are these going to consolidate like that? Maybe forever and then maybe break down. That's the risk. If it breaks down, you got to be able to get out. You can't just hold it if it breaks that support. But I don't wonder if there aren't some other participants taking those little shots. And the other thing, too, is a good point by 3D, which I buried the lead there. Man, Vanguard buys everything. They own everything. There's like there's 3 or 4 funds that literally just buy everything and are the biggest holders of most stocks in the market. But I don't wonder if they don't see an opportunity, especially when you have those consolidating, to be a little bit more active than they would normally be.
All right, I'm getting frustrated here because we keep trying to grab Amazon long, and it's like we just had it, and then we got stopped out again on that low break again. So it's like, got to be a little more patient here trying to catch some of these trades, or else it's not going to happen. So let's be patient then and try to use maybe this bottom that happened at 2 o'clock, sort of before we saw this move happen. That's probably a good idea to do that. So that's 40s or so. Break of 40s where we just got out. So we're going to try to put on a little bit more shares as we come back in here for Amazon, and then see if it wants to hold to get back going to that upside. I just feel like this name wants to go. And it's like, but it could want to go down too. So I don't know. We wrote down here on the sticky note to wait for 198s today. And I mean, that's the bottom. Like, we missed that bottom by 70 cents right there, 198. So it's kind of crazy that, again, like it's right on here. Amazon. Oh no, we don't have it on here. We wrote it down when we were trading Amazon early to look for that 198 level. That did hold. And, again, it's more from yesterday. We talked about that on yesterday's sticky note, that here's 198. It was the bottom 2 days ago, and it looks like it was pretty much the bottom today. So watch out for that level. At least we know about it. And if we really did want to hold something into tomorrow, or you're playing options or something like that, I feel like you don't need to worry about this until like breaks 197.50, 197. So let's wait for that. Of course, we have to be flat in an hour. So our positions will, fluctuate back and forth. By the way, Apple, let's go. We'll at least go, was it a dollar club? More than that, maybe? 230, 230.90, 231.90. Yeah. So that was actually a fluke. I was just trying to put it here ahead of the 50-period moving average. So a good little take right there. The 50-period moving average is at 97. We just got out at 89s right there, 90s. So good trade there for Apple as it does hit. So again, a little bit of back and forth for us on Apple, but at the end of the day, we're happy as it does give us that out, bounce off the 200, take that out right there. Good trade there for Apple. I'm just going to keep dealing with the demons that are right now Amazon and hope that this can make the move back up. And wow, Tesla, man. Nice move off that top of 267. Wow. I don't know how we could have found that level out. I mean, 267 is that top wick. Yeah, then you're just kind of just looking for something there. All right, let's see what happens in Amazon. It just stopped at 60s there for Amazon. So hopefully we get a nice move back up into that area and we'll be able to take something out right now. 7-Eleven has blueberry coffee. No, stop that.
England sucks.
Peach flavored coffee.
It's already
blueberry flavored.
It's already 1-0.
Okay. Oh, is it?
Blueberry coffee? No.
Ramin Light.
I'll knock it without. Ramin just said blueberry coffee is delicious and don't knock it till you try it. I will absolutely knock it without trying it.
Neil's
I will try it. That said, that said, I will try just about anything. I'm one of those people even if I don't think I'm gonna like it, I'll give it a shot, especially if it's food or drink. I mean, come on, why not? But I just don't think it's gonna be any good. I'm being dead honest about that. That doesn't sound remotely appetizing to me. But you know what?
Ramin.
I'm just blueberry coffee.
I mean,
You know you don't want it.
No, I've already said that. Yeah, but you had a very, very strong opinion.
Okay, so first of all, if I sounded a bit agitated, Netherlands scored on England. So
cold brew.
How are they already down? They just started the match 10 minutes ago.
I'm saying that's probably not the truth. Why did someone tell you that?
No, Netherlands.
You did. It's
unless the goal got disallowed or something.
Could be. They review every goal.
It's 1-0 after the 10-minute mark. But Rigetti in here. It wasn't exactly $1.10. So let's just rewind back to the daily chart. If you're tuning in late, Dave Rigetti now owns a computing company. The former Yankees reliever. No, that's absolutely not true. But Rigetti is running here. RGTI. Was $1 earlier today, got to the 140 level, pull back. We're looking for a dip into this 50 period in 110. It just dipped off 112. Ooh, wow, what a rejection of VWAP. Maybe we should have paid for locates. Got one fill at 19, tried to get 20s. It's right back to 15 even. Yeah, this might be weak. It actually does look weak. Ooh, long this. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Rocky Mountain Oysters. Thank you for the super chat. I freaking love oysters. My favorite restaurant in the entire city of Toronto is the #1 oyster house in the entire city, which is Rodney's. That's my spot to go to. I absolutely love oysters. Can't wait to get out to the East Coast again. That's what it's all about there. Shout out to you. Appreciate you so much there along this. We'll give that one a thumbs up. You know what? Let's just put a let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
go England, first of all. How are they always down? I'm just so mad that they suck. Delta earnings, Pablo. Delta, they're not reporting tonight.
Yeah, they do.
Is it tonight? I thought it was the morning.
Oh yeah, it's always in the morning. They're one of the first.
It's tomorrow morning, right? Yeah. I want to make sure I get it right before we answer
caught me off guard
the question. Yeah, tomorrow morning pre-market. Never wanted, because I knew there was nothing big in the aftermarket show tonight. There's no earnings, but certainly Delta, not necessarily. Not in the best looking chart, but I will say this much. Anytime I'm listening to analysts or experts talk about the industry, all of them seem to say Delta is the one in terms of the best prepared or the best balance sheet, all that kind of good stuff. And I always say let the stock show you a bit of a trend, so I don't like it. As a trade, why wouldn't you be bouncing off the 200 period moving average? If you're reporting, I like it when a stock that is strong, it gives you a dip buy. That's almost the best scenario. So you have higher lows going in. It's at support at 45 right now, but a dip into 42 would be pretty juicy. As long as it's not god-awful, the report tomorrow morning. Ideally, it's just hey, it's not a bad report. Why is it down? And then it bounces off of 42, 43. That'd be the best case scenario. Or it just breaks out 50 and the 50-period moving average. But that's tomorrow morning for these guys. Usually we'll have that before the bell. Just come right back in. We'll be talking all about it for sure. But kind of a flat day today on Dell. I don't like the airlines as a long-term investment because I think they should be utilities. But as a trade, hey, they go up and they go down. It's just you have to always worry about how cyclical they are. You end up getting rinsed. I like tech because tech is always getting better. Whereas flights, they just keep going out, like one goes out of business, or they have to combine and all that stuff. I feel like the autos are getting into that as well. I just don't like that as an investment. I like to be able to see where the growth is coming from.
All right. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of people with you on some of that talk about investing.
Should have bought Air Canada at the COVID bottom, though.
Oh, Air Canada? Oh my God. Yeah, some
I bought a lot
actually
of,
Baxter was in.
No, I know that because it's because Baxter did it.
Funny.
I bought a lot of things in the COVID bottom, but I didn't pick up any airlines.
Yeah, those were obvious.
Travel names were good, like Disney and stuff, but airlines.
Back in the day, CCL and things like that, but they still have a lot of debt. Those companies. So, okay. You know, we got more out of Roblox here. I wish there was a little bit more happening for me. I'm just trying to focus on Amazon here. I feel that this, again, it's not necessarily the one, but we're just making some money back here, buying some of these dips and then just selling them ahead of this 50 period, which is at 63. We've been getting a whole bunch of 58s, 59s, and 60s. Like right now, you can get some out, but I don't necessarily want to do that. But it's scalping and it's making it back. I do want to have another order to buy more at 40s, and then hopefully we can hold out for a break of that 30 level and then see if we can get it going. So this is what I'm trying to do right now, trying to see if we can make something happen right here. And it's not to try to force the situation. That would be the wrong thing.
Use the force.
We are trying to use the force correctly, hopefully correctly, and make a little bit of a winning trade now. So go upside on that if we can get it. What else you guys want to look at? We had WFC was another name that we traded today. Let's have a quick look over there. There it is right now. So WFC starting to get back up to the upside as we talk about potential earnings names coming into play. Again, it would be Wells Fargo and Citigroup and JP Morgan on Friday. So those are names to look at again, but not super exciting unless you get back into the 200 period. Okay, I mean, the net keeps going up, even though we're only ticking up a couple pennies here on Amazon Go. I'm waiting for 66s on this name. I don't, that's right where that's at 65. All right, let me just in case. I'd hate for it to bounce off of those levels and then I miss it. So we'll put a 63 and a 66 out here. There we go. We get to 63, so that's good for us on Amazon. 64, 65s, get to 66. Give us those 66s. There it is. We get it now. Okay. Whew, Neil, we just got saved there a little bit as Amazon goes back up into the 70s here. And I was just talking to Mateo, and I'm like, I can't be scalping these out so fast. I need to wait for more profits. And then as soon as it goes upside, I start taking more out. So, all right, we'll take another piece out there at 68. Now let's wait to see if we get something here with a blast. Good thing we took more out upside right there. As look at Amazon pull right back in. Choke. It's so bad right now. It's so frustrating. What's been happening here on Amazon. So let's wait to see if we can get back up to the upside. Go Amazon. Would be nice to get that through 70 there. Remember, 70 was that spot that we were playing off the long. So it doesn't surprise me that we stopped there again.
Take it and go.
Amazon getting deal with MBA. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Eric, or Elox there.
I mean, how do you not know the take it and go reference?
Take it and go. No, what is that from?
That was Russell Peters.
Oh, Russell Peters. I've seen some of his stuff. Not all of it. Is it a recent thing or?
I think it's old. You know what? I haven't seen Russell. I'm pretty sure it's not like not his oldest one, but it's one of the older ones in there. You'll see. I just got out of AMD. It's holding 182. Buyers step in right at the previous consolidation. Remember when this wouldn't make the flat bottom break right here? Higher low and all kinds of consolidation right underneath the 182. So under the 182 level, goes back over, get out. Maybe there's time, 40 minutes left for a VWAP retracement again. But Snowflake, we're in Snowflake as well. That short, like AMD works, goes 183 to 182. Snowflake, which has easily the more extreme move today both to the down. Like, come on, man. In terms of a downside, like AMD was breaking out then pulling back. Like Snowflake has already pulled back, making lower highs. Now it's just going sideways. So we get the entry. We're looking for a bit more up here, and it's just not moving. So I'd love to see this one slam a little bit to the downside here, but we're sitting in it, not really doing much here. That Rigetti. Not used to trading this name, so, yeah, it's right in NASDAQ stock, not New York. Rigetti, we got the dip at 15. It just printed once at 19, no 20s, and then filled here and just started scalping it. So it's actually holding the bid. Now there's a buyer at 14, and there's some size that keeps stepping up at the 15 level. Kind of just rinse and repeat it a couple times here. But with the reload of 15, I think kind of just get out if 14 goes. So Rigetti. Maybe it does one more push and we can get to VWAP. But if it loses 114, wait for a buck. Like that would have been the ultimate sort of dip buy level. The other thing we have to worry about is time as well. Like you don't want to be buying dips forever or trading things if it's not going to go. Like Snowflake, the longer we're waiting here, there's no point trying to get more. Like if it makes a late push, why am I adding to the short? When it's not moving now, if it starts blasting against me in the last 20 minutes of the day or 30 minutes of the day, why would you even want it getting more? England's got a penalty. Penalty shot for England. Yes. They scored.
They scored.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So there you go. See, so
by the way, I'm only an England fan. It's a family thing. Like I'm not. Like I wouldn't normally be an England. My dad loves Brazil. Like he's always been a Brazil fan. Obviously, being West Indian, we can only really cheer for the reggae boys because no one else is any good in the West Indies. But you know, family thing for England. So good luck. They always have to. They don't play well until they have their back against the wall. They get down, all of a sudden they decide to play.
yeah, good look. There's been a couple key missed penalties this year. I saw. I think both Ronaldo and Messi both missed a penalty, at least one this year. So in the Euro. So it's been good capitalization there. Okay, so. It's 320 right now, and we've just been buying the dip here in Amazon. The last time we did this, it went up here. Let's see if it can happen again. Hopefully that is the case. The lowest it just got to was 43s. I'm trying to buy some 40s. Not take too much risk into this last little bit of a trade here, because again, I just thought this NBA, everything, I mean, it was, okay, here we go. Okay, we're getting longer. We're getting longer. Now we're long. As it takes us out and goes through us right now. It's not too many shares here on Amazon. Well, whatever. We'll see. Hopefully it can rip up to the upside and go. So more than a couple hundred, that is for sure. So let's wait to see here if Amazon wants to go or not for us back up. So we take that bid. We're long right here. We could take it out if it comes back up because again, we have some shares and maybe stupidly have these shares on board right now for Amazon. So let's see if it will go back up to the upside into the 50s and then hopefully 70s and then back up. But again, if it breaks that 30 level, I don't really, so we're long at 44. So 15-cent worth of a hit is fine. We can definitely sort of hold that today. But risk to reward here. Amazon's coming down. I like it. I like the risk to reward now that it's 15 cents. Remember, I thought 60s was around a level that we could be satisfied with if it comes back up to that. So we will get that going immediately for Amazon. So let's go back up to the upside, but we got some business to take care of.
Yes, sir. If you feel lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss out on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com Pro to start your free trial today. And I got it in my ear. Not gonna lie, HubSpot, oh my goodness, I was actually just looking at Hubs. It's still working that short off of 500. So remember, Hubs, the news here that did break, we heard it. Actually, I remember to turn mine on because I came here late and Sean had it in his ear. But HubSpot, the news, potentially Google no longer interested. So I haven't heard anything from Alphabet. Not that they have to, as Sean mentioned. They don't have to say anything. We haven't heard anything official. Potentially could. Volume slowing down a bit, but it got to 500, lower highs ever since. Sometimes we always talk about this when there's news, like what do I usually like? Pull back into VWAP, pull back into previous support levels. You don't get any of that. The lowest hanging fruit after that would have been, well, 500's a round number. The odds that it would go to exactly 500. I mean, you can't, hindsight's 20/20, but it's the fact that it made a lower high after that. But I think this one's kind of done. You want to get it when the news breaks because you could have shorted it. This is a 3-minute candle. You could have shorted the bottom of a 3-minute candle, and then it went another $27 to $30. Just to give you an idea. And that's what happens when the deal falls through and the stock does all of that. Like that's a huge breakdown on Hubs. Really nothing on the daily that would suggest where it bounced either.
All right. I'm as boring as hell right now because honestly, like I'm just sitting here hoping. And you know, the word hope is definitely being overused by me right now. Thinking that this could get going here on Amazon, but we're just getting some more and more and more out as we go here and feeling pretty good about it, to be honest with you, up at 50s. So here comes 49s. We got some 47s and 48s. It doesn't want to go. Like this much volume on Amazon today, 24 million. I just like, why can we not just take out this? There's so many deep prints. There has to be, and there is websites. I'm just lazy. I don't know of one off the top of my head, but there are websites where you can count up all the deep prints that have happened in a day and sort of the percentages. I feel like today on Amazon, and especially over the last week or two since this Bezos, there's been so much dark pool selling. It's crazy. Like they don't want to post on.
It was a good site, but
that's
then
what I mean.
What happens is there's always like free resources for stuff,
no.
and then like after a year or something, like it's gone, and then you have to find another one. But I remember it was always pretty useful because you'd get like day to day. So if it was normally 40%, and then it goes to like 60%.
Yep.
It would be worth watching when you had more real buyers. Like sometimes you wanted to see that uptick when like the buyers would come in and be like real, and then you get that trending day where it's just all algos, meaning like no liquidity and everyone else, and then there's no real liquidity, so it's just trending to the upside. But after a consolidation of real buyers, which could be good, I keep looking over at Tesla to see if it's doing something. No, not really.
Answer no.
No, it's not that it's. It just can't seem to get back above that opening range top, that 265.50. Like I feel as if I don't want to be shorting this. I'd rather be looking long, but it's been a short, which is a bit frustrating. And sometimes you want it to be one way, and it's the other way. It's the other way here on Tesla. Rivian, I want to check back in on Rivian, because Rivian, this could be pulling right back into VWAP. I'd like to go bounce VWAP on Rivian. We got out of the top break, but I still want to look bounce back on that one. I'm just looking over at some ideas for names. Like we got out of AMD and are now waiting for VWAP, and AMD doesn't seem to want to get back into 183. Maybe it's just gonna. The flat bottom break could be available. That 181.5 level here. I guess we're back to that. Back to this breakdown on AMD. We were saying it wasn't going to get there, so we waited for VWAP. It got to VWAP. Still 25 minutes till the imbalances come out, so that's plenty of time for it to potentially make this break. So AMD, we're back to looking for the flat. It's not really a flat bottom break. It's not a low of the day or anything. It's just this double bottom here. So 11 o'clock low and then the 2 o'clock low. Right when we came on air, we started off and AMD was right at that level looking to break, and it still hasn't done it. So either VWAP short or break down here. What about NVIDIA? NVIDIA's diddling in the middle too. I always check out NVIDIA just in case. Like, do you really want to have NVIDIA breaking highs and I'm looking to short AMD? Ideally not, but it's not breaking highs yet. We just got to have to be patient. Either we get the trade we want or we do not at all.
Right. I like that. All right, we're just gonna have to try to wait for Amazon. I don't even want to look at it. I'm trying to find something else because I just keep on getting out. Like now I have half of what I had down there at 40s, and we're taking it out for like 7 or 8 cents. So I don't even want to look at it anymore and see if it can go. Because if it can go, then we can change our day around just on one play. So I'm all about that. So let's see if we can do that right now on Amazon. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Whether or not we do it or not is a different story. I was looking here at Google. I think a pullback on this is something too that we might be able to get. It's coming into VWAP, that's 190.50, so I keep looking over at it, thinking that we could get it. 190.50, again, this is going to be the same kind of play that we say that we like, right? So, and that is a pullback in on a strong name. So a pullback in on a strong name. Google makes brand new 52-week highs. We're not trading our book, but you guys know that we love Google. It is my largest holding, both in like sort of our TFSA, which is kind of like a swing account, but not really for me. I just kind of hold everything. I have it in there, and of course in the longer one, which is an RRSP. Not financial advice, is just what I'm doing. And again, you know, good little level here for Google. I believe VWAP could play, right? Couple good days there for this name. Makes a lot of sense to me to be in it. So,
there's Tesla.
Again, I like Google here. Pull back to 50s would be nice. We stopped looking at Amazon, but then I look back and I smile because there it is. Nice play. Let's punch some out there at 56. Of course, we get half prints there when we punch out up to 57 and doing quite well now. So let's go. We just took some out there at 57 and 56. So it's a good little move higher there. Maybe if we don't look at it more, it will continue to move more. You're already on Tesla. Did you get long on that? No. It did start to blast back up through that one.
It just came now.
Yeah, it just came now. So that's what I was going to say.
What is LL?
65 was something that lumber liquidators or something like that. LL maybe. 265 right there. That was a good level. I'd rather play names right now on VWAP. It's 328. We got to be out at the end of the day here, right? And so any kind of a misstep on any kind of plays, we got to cover anyways. And at 350, we do have those imbalances coming out. So feel pretty good that we went back over here to Amazon. I'm going to take out one more piece now, if we can, even at 54, as I hold up the level. Unbelievable here okay, now we're starting to get partially filled here on NASDAQ, and there it goes, blast through. So let's go Amazon into the close. It's what we have left right now. Yeah, I think Mike Tyson was heavyweight champ at 19, maybe 18.
I thought it was 19.
Could have been 19. Someone in the chat just
Someone
said
in the chat?
James Dell, I think.
If we were like betting on it, like if I was on a quiz show, I'd say 19, but I don't know exactly. But man, was he ridiculous.
Oh man, I don't know why would anybody even step in the ring with him.
Prime, like in his prime, like I know he's not pound for pound the greatest boxer of all time, but like pound for pound is a dude you don't want to be in a ring with. Promise you that much. Bet that. I don't care who you are. Your confidence is shook when you step in a ring with that guy. So 265.5 did break out there on Tesla. It just pulled back, and the support came right in at 40s. So the second that happened, I'm now in it. I'm going to give it to the 65 even. The only reason I was asking what LL was, I actually heard a news story on LL, but then I didn't realize what it was. And again, like it was a catalyst. It was breaking out on volume. But it's a penny stock which has done less than 2 million shares. It's LL Flooring.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's you said
liquid lumber.
Lumber liquidators is the first thing that came to my mind.
That is what it was, and I think they've
changed.
Did they change? Because it's down to $1. It's 50 cents.
Yeah, and the penny stock.
I don't know if they changed their symbol.
You want more volume. If the stock is 60 to 70 cents as a day trade, you probably don't want it to be doing 2 million shares of volume by 3:30. No, you want a heck of a lot more volume than that. Like it doesn't have to be Mullen when it's doing hundreds of millions of shares, but you want tens of millions of shares at least. So we'll see if this is the right spot there on Tesla. We wanted to make a run at that 265.5. It's done so, but if we can't hold a higher low support, it's going to come out. Snowflake is still doing absolutely nothing. AMD is still not breaking down and not getting to VWAP, so nothing there. It's just going to be what does Tesla do here. We'll see what happens. See a few names also there. No, that's not really. Rivian Millionaire Hurricane stocks.
Oh, okay.
It's a good thought. It's probably going to be a bad hurricane season. The problem there is like, what are you looking to do? Like short energy companies. That's one way to do it. But the places where it's bad, I feel like everyone already understands that trade. But everyone I talk to in the West End is like, it's going to be a bad one this year. It's already not looking good with Barrel, and everyone's talking about because it was so hot and the water gets the oceans get warmer and blah 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 blah. But everyone's hunkering down like it's gonna be a bad season. The first thought, I never really made a play cyclically on storm season. It's not a bad idea, but it would seem to me like it's the kind of thing that you got to make that trade before storm season starts. I could be wrong, but
you could short orange juice futures.
Where's Beeks though?
That's the thing. I mean, you need that inside there.
The second view, but the problem is, if you get the wrong crop report delivered to you, then you're in trouble.
If I say polka dot door to you, what does that mean?
A fantastic kids show that I watched when I was like.
Thank you.
I was all over. I was all over the polka dot.
Right, not some doopy character or whatever these guys were talking about earlier. Obi, there's kind of a spin-off. What was it called? Polka dot shorts or something like that? I never heard of that. I thought it was YouTube shorts.
Polka dot door. I grew up on that.
It's too classic. It's Canadian though, right? So I don't know if too many of these guys around here would know it. But I just wanted to say that because we were talking about that earlier, and we missed your insight on.
There was a couple of them.
We used to have that Pokeroo animation.
Yeah,
a while ago.
We had the poke. Yeah,
if you guys, we've talked. They're busy over there, but they've looked for them before.
This is a silly show.
Silly. That's funny. I haven't heard that word in a while either. Boy, that was silly.
No, because the thing about it is, I understand like the dude, whatever the guy, like Jeff, just his name was Jeff. Because like it's a typical kids show, guy and girl. But the dude, he's never around to see the silly Pokeroo when it comes out. He's always never there. Right. So even as a kid, it's not even fooling a 5-year-old. Like, come on. We never see them together. Obviously, either Jeff is just the dumbest person on the planet. You realize this as a kid. Either he's the dumbest person on the planet, or he's a Pokeroo. But I love those kids' shows. Back when they were Better at teaching kids things. But anyways, who cares about that? Where's Beeks? Yeah, where's Beeks? Where's the movement in Tesla? You break 265 half, and now you're not doing anything, which is frustrating. Maybe we'll get something on AIM. It's 3:30. We can have a quick look at the early imbalances, but I can tell you, unless you're into Southwest, 2.4 early look buy, 2.4 million to buy, nothing doing. So maybe we'll see something on some of the other names, but it's been a quiet volume afternoon, just holding at the highs in the futures, and nothing's really standing out. Tesla trying to hold a higher low in here off 65. It did it at 64, but you're running out of time for this to get going. And Snowflake, yeah, why am I even, like, this is insane. There's no point sitting on the bid anywhere. This is not going to flush VWAP at this point. If it even gets to the bottom of the range here, take what you can get. It's just like, what is even happening? The volume's not even doing anything, and it's just kind of creeping back up higher. So I like the stock going up for personal reasons, because I'm looking for a breakout trade on the daily in this thing. But yeah, nothing doing on Snowflake. Probably going to have taken the L. Should have just stuck with AMD, but even then, AMD's not setting us up for anything else just yet. James Dell, Letterkenny is still your favorite Canadian show. Oh, come on. James Dell, if you like Letterkenny, I would sincerely hope that you've at least tried Trailer Park Boys. You might find you like it more than Letterkenny. Just going to throw it out there.
Yeah, Letterkenny's all right. Shoresy's okay because it's hockey based.
Like, it's levels better.
Yeah. The
Trailer
best
Park
Canadian
Boys.
show of all time is Degrassi. It's Degrassi Junior High. It's the original ones. It's not the Drake one.
Okay, I was about to say, like, not the...
I never even watched a Drake one. It's the other ones, man. It's with Snake. It's with Joey. Was it Joey?
Yeah, man.
I mean, come on, man.
Love that show.
I forget what his girlfriend's name was. It was crazy. It was just a wicked show. Degrassi Junior High. Go find it. They used to show us that in health class, you know? Like, there'd be an episode about, like, oh, this guy's taking drugs.
I learned about...
This guy's like...
You learned about everything in Degrassi.
Something like that, you know?
No, seriously, when they taught you about bullying, they just
Right,
sit you in a
bullying's a
room
good one, yeah.
and they'd be like, okay, watch an episode of Degrassi. That's how
And it
they
would
used
just
to
be
teach
kids
us.
bullying each other, and then you'd be like, you don't
Pretty much.
understand what it was.
You want to teach about drugs? It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Degrassi kid brings drugs to school.
Yeah.
I don't think they still do that. They didn't do that with the Drake version.
So I've watched Trailer Park Boys many times over.
Love that shit.
I just feel like the more you watch it, the more you realize that it's just way too vulgar, to be honest with you.
Oh, come on,
It is, man. No, it's
Mr.
funny,
Leahy, I am the liquor.
That's fine. But the F-bombs are really frequent. So it's good to watch, but it's like sometimes, you know, the content. I mean, drinking that rum. I mean, what's his name walks around with the rum and Coke all day there. So Julian. All right.
That's how we should do the show.
Now, 3:36. Yeah. Oh, by the way, you didn't. Oh, you were here, but you're not here Friday. There was a thing, and if Adara, I don't know where Adara's gone to.
That'd be amazing
If Adara can go without saying a pun, which should be easy, I would think, but that will happen tomorrow for an hour. If so, then it's a couple pizzas and
I'll go a
six-pack.
whole week without saying a pun if someone gives me an apple fritter. For like for a $1 treat.
I mean, I'll do that.
Not say a pun for a week. Come on, who cares? I don't have to say a pun. Easy.
All right.
But there needs to be another side of it.
All right.
But I need more, you know what, actually.
No, that's not a bet. I'm not betting you can't do it. I'm saying
Oh.
I will give you an apple fritter if you do not pun for a week, if that's what you want.
I know, it's just, I don't think it's that difficult to do. That's my whole
No,
point.
nor do I.
It's
Yeah,
very
that's
easy.
what I'm saying. I think we'll be getting beer and pizza is what I think. Okay. We'll watch out for that. Palantir Technologies.
Where's Palantir?
Again, another big name there. Let's go Amazon. Let's go fire off that hot dog cannon. Now you're into the 70s right now for us. So we've made back a heck of a lot here. But 70s are the key level. I'm going to try to get something out here at 72 now. And I wish we did leave it alone, but we were getting some out there into the 60s. Okay, see, there's the fade off 70. So there we go, 68's out a little bit there. I'll now cancel the 72s as we do get a little bit of a push up there for Amazon. So let's see if we can get a nice little move back here into the close for AMZN and go and see if we can get back up to 2 bills. If we do get back up there and I still have all this position, we will at least be getting out of half of that at 200 and then hope for a bigger move. And I think the bigger move can just probably come off of an imbalance. We'll see if that can happen in now 13 more minutes or so. All right, NVIDIA coin. What about coin?
Oh yeah, Mars.
All right, right here. Oh, there it is. The kids in the hall.
Oh my God, I cannot believe props
yeah,
up for
yeah,
that
yeah.
to long this.
Yeah.
I will like that. Yeah, great show. Right here.
That's
Yeah,
the original sketch show, comedy show.
Yep. Good call out right there.
Those guys.
Too. So, all right, great look. All right, I just want to look at Coinbase right now because Bitcoin's 57.5 and Ethereum is 31 and change. So, Coinbase not doing a whole heck of a lot, but 217 coming in, definitely worth a look down there as well. Second City, by the way, had like John Candy and all these guys as well from the beginning. Dan Aykroyd. I mean, there's so many amazing Canadian names in the comedy side of things that have really changed the game a lot. And most of you,
I can't wait to
would
show
know.
my daughter Three Amigos.
Would know those names. I asked, the other day I was like, this is going to be a fail for the wife, of course, because I was like, let's watch Three Amigos. She's like, nah. I was like, what? So I'll have to wait for another opportunity. We're going to watch it for sure. You want to watch something else? That's a comedy, man. The Three Amigos. I love when they go into that city there. It's just so funny. They just walk in there like they own the place.
That is one of my all-time favorite, just silly,
Steve Martin, Chevy Chase,
stupid, laugh your ass out loud.
Martin Short.
I mean, come on, son. El Guapo, like that dude is.
Oh,
he's the most ridiculous gangster you've ever seen.
Great movie there.
Yeah,
As Amazon right now, man, we've made back almost everything now. Amazon back up to 80s. Let's go, man. Let's props.
The market's back to the high of the day.
Yeah, close. Yeah, it's definitely trying. The NASDAQ, anyways. The S&P is. The S&P is at the high.
Yeah, the NASDAQ isn't yet.
There's the S&P. Both up almost 1%. Wow, this thing does not stop, eh? All right, go Amazon, 40 cents in. Let's see if we can get it going. Uncle Buck, yeah, John Candy. I mean, come on, this is exactly the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So John Candy, kind of like an older, I don't want to say like Chris Farley, like what Chris Farley was.
No, because Chris Farley was definitely more physical comedy than...
Yes.
They had similar traits, but I want to say their style wasn't.
Chris Farley's falling through tables on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And then down by the river. And if Amazon doesn't go up, I may be housed there very soon. And so let's see if we can get back up to the upside. 199.80 right now. I don't know what you're working on over there.
180. Well, definitely not Snowflake. Not Snowflake. Tesla's still trying to hold 265, but it might lose it right in here. We just want this one pushing. We said if the market was going to break up, I like Tesla, but the market's breaking out and Tesla's not going. I don't like that. You never, ever want to see, like there's the wick at the 265 level. So it does the wick, but we're in early. It needs to break contain. It needs to do it soon. You're 15 minutes away. Sorry, you're 10 minutes away from the imbalances coming in. I've already canceled Snowflake. That's going to be no good. AMD might even be, it's breaking out VWAP. I think you stick a fork in shorting it at this level. Unless it's 350, that is big time trend up. I want to see it in the other end, which is coming back underneath. So no way I'm going back into this trade over there on AMD. It's breaking out and looking a little bit too strong there. I need to see it failing VWAP. That's a big difference from the first time it came into this level. So I got to respect the strength when I see it. I said we shorted at VWAP, but you got to be able to maybe not pull the trigger when you see this kind of strength. So it is what it is. It's because you say you like that idea. If it gets there and it looks really, really bad, you don't have to take the trade. But Tesla, I don't know why it can't seem to break out from this 265.5. So I'm going to have to scalp some out here if it even gets to the top end of the range. And Snow, I might just have to punch that one out. If it's not going to break the high and it's not going to work to the low end, it's essentially not doing anything. And I just realized my price is 136.66 on that. Completely unintentional.
I wanted to look at that AMD trade too because
it's blasting now.
Yeah, and remember we looked at it and we were like, oh, a VWAP bounce from NVIDIA. And there's the VWAP take on AMD. So finally, nice move up. NVIDIA as well. We're starting to go now. I mean, we just took some more out on Amazon, but we're waiting for 88s now. It's at 83, so we'll did that. Yeah, see, so again, nice move. There it goes, above VWAP here. I think if NVIDIA, remember, we've seen NVIDIA and Amazon go opposite ways. So it's not, I don't want to be like, okay, if one leads, but generally speaking, lately, especially that AMD's gotten some more upgrades and feeling a little bit better about itself. AMD does have some definite Tesla, yeah. For sure, Tesla vibes, but NVIDIA vibes to it as we break higher above 170. I think this is a long until we break back below 170. I think we might have talked about that on the morning show, and I just said, you know, I feel like the long is fine, and if you do have it, 167.50 or so back in for that one. All right. I mean, we missed this trade, but a pullback to 183 could be worth it. Remember, we do now just have moments away from those imbalances kicking. So, yeah, Probably a wise decision to think about it, at least getting some more out here on Amazon as we bounce around these levels. But it's just been a great couple takes. Sure, we got stopped out there, and then we flipped up the script. We changed our mind a little bit and said we're going to have to wait for a little lower if we're going to do any damage on this. So we put on a big amount of shares right there and took it all the way to the upside. We talked about having multiple hundreds, and we did. Obviously have that without, we don't talk too much about share size, but it was the biggest Amazon position of the day for me, and probably biggest Amazon position in a while. Which could have been stubborn, but I don't know. I like the NBA news. Feel like we already saw that 200, came back in, sort of stopped at a level here that we'd held all afternoon from 2 o'clock from that news. And now let's see if we can get back up to the upside here. And just a good couple trades back and forth. So yeah, pretty happy so far here with the trading in Amazon. Just like it to go just a wee bit more.
Yeah, a wee bit until the imbalances. 5 minutes to go. I don't necessarily see anything new except for adjusting target on snow. Like we said, I was going to be adding at this price, but when he got to sideways action and it being 344 and not 314 or 324, no add. Get it out if it gets back into that break even. And if we get a full break at the bottom, then we just hold on for some to the 136 level. With only 5 minutes to go, Tesla relieve some pressure as it's just in a consolidative state, but you're not breaking out the top. The idea was continuation and breakout. Well, the market took the high like 5 minutes ago. And Tesla has spent that 5 minutes in this consolidation. So you can like it all you want. It just doesn't want to go here. AMD is starting to slow down a bit. So at 350, if there is a snapback underneath VWAP, like that's a scalpable trade for me. Like we like that level for a pullback anyways. And if it can do that on maybe a sell imbalance pops in there at 350 and then you get like a push through, I think you get down to 182 again. But I want to see the next 5 minutes. Like we got to play it by ear in the next 5 minutes. Come on, Tesla, break back above. Like get to 66. You just can't get there. It gets to those 60s, 265 halves, and then gets up to 60, and then the sellers just jump right back into it. Yeah, there's definitely somebody late selling in there. No imbalances early on anything significant. So you're not getting any kind of a hint, but there is some selling going at this 265 and a half. So eyeballs will be on AMD just in case there's a sell imbalance on some of the chips because it's above that VWAP. So if it were to get back underneath, you could have a nice reversal. Don't have too many thoughts on NVIDIA there, Paula. Like NVIDIA is a great stock. It's usually a good trading vehicle, but yeah, I think you had, like Sean mentioned, you had that one great opportunity off VWAP, maybe buy a higher low. The ship has sailed on along a little bit here on NVIDIA. So I don't really love the idea getting into this 135 because I had a 135 break that just didn't work. Got out of it right away. 135 is like a triple top in here today. And it's like 25 cents away. If anything, like a sell imbalance on NVIDIA, maybe you short the 135. I might like that more than the AMD idea. If there's a sell imbalance.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, we are right now finally starting to go. Look, I was just thinking about this on Amazon. It's not about being stubborn versus not being stubborn. We just took some more out at 88 right here. It's like if our call was to get this, and again, we have half. So we thought about that. We do have half, so we actually accomplished what we were trying to do and not getting out of completely everything. We don't have half from the bottom. I wish we still had that, but we have half of what we had when we were talking about it right there. We did pretty good to get out 88s, 80s. Our last one there is 88. We'll see if we can get it. Now, my offer's at 94, and I was just thinking if we're pretty close to that right now. But if it does come a buy imbalance, which I'm not really sure why it would if Bezos is selling everything, but actually, you know what?
It doesn't make sense if he's selling.
That is a good point that I'm
what was
trying
it
to make to myself here. Yeah, it looks like it did have a big impact yesterday at 350 as well. So there it is, boom, to the downside at 350 yesterday. Day before that, looks like we had an oppo day. We had an up day there the day before that. So we'll see if that big sell imbalance comes again. But we only have about, from our total, about a seventh or so left as we get up here into Amazon. So good move into the 90s here. Pretty happy with the play. Still think there's more to go. Let's see if it gets up there. We're at 94s now on Amazon with just a couple of minutes until the imbalances. Bitcoin still 57. Looks like we'll have to wait for 58 tomorrow. And maybe 3,000 is the bottom on Ethereum because, again, it held there the last couple. This is what ETHE looks like. Pretty boring day, but if you're looking at it, 28.90. We'll see if that can come into play tomorrow for ETHE I'm going to take out one more piece here on Amazon, and then we'll wait. There we go. We get some 86s. Now let's wait to see if those imbalances are high side or not.
Yeah, there goes Tesla underneath that support wick. So it lost it, couldn't get out. We thankfully took some out when we were able to get flats on it because it just wasn't working. So at least we reduced it by, it could have been a bigger loss, but still frustrating for Tesla. Thought we had this one trend up, but the market's going up and it's not going with it. But yeah, I've convinced myself that 135, it already being a bit of a resistance spot on NVIDIA, if it comes out a sell, that's really tight. It's at 70s right now with 1 minute to go. It's pretty tight to that level if it's a sell imbalance, maybe working it off of there. And the other one to have up is obvious. As long as he has that many shares to sell, level 2 at 350 every single day on Amazon. Because if it's at 200 on Amazon and Bezos is potentially still selling, I mean, heck, you want to be able to react to any down move off a high, I would think. At least for the imbalances, if he's selling. It doesn't have to be there, but if it is there, you'll hate yourself if you don't at least have that one up. So NVIDIA, 135, looking for a sell imbalance. If it doesn't do the spike down, I won't try to grab anything. But both of these trying to attempt the high as we speak.
Yeah, see right about that Tesla. We could have been short up there. We tried to short into it. Yeah, let's just go. That was a good idea, at least, to see if Amazon wanted to go back to 200. So there it is. Let's now see where it goes from here. We just talked some out. We got like 96s. So I'm really over the moon with being able to battle back here on Amazon. We stuck with our guns there. We've been going long on this. We obviously got caught a little bit. We got caught up here and we got taken out at those levels. And then we said, you know what, let's just put up some shares and then see if this can do it. And it did it. So yeah, feeling good about it. So good trade there on Amazon. Let's see again if it can hold it into the close. I think there's a good chance that it does that. So let's go breakthrough. There it is. The imbalances are now out. It's obviously not doing anything. So let me just go switch over to it and get a quick look to see. I didn't even realize we were that close to it.
I don't see anything.
Right there. So, all right, LUV, HBAN, a little bit. There's Amazon, a little bit of a sell, 490,000 shares, was 2.5 million, so above 3 million worth of a sell. They've already paired it off, so if this wants to go, it does have an opportunity now to go. Remember, we still have sellers here. I don't think Bezos is telling his little cronies to stop selling based on the time of day. So we still could get a little bit of a sell spot. Not going now. Let's offer some 99s. We may have to just, let's punch out a little bit. There we go. We punch some 98s. Get some more out. There we go. We get the 99s as well. Spin the money right there for this. Good trading there on Amazon. Good outs. 50 cents in the money now. 60 cents in the money. What am I talking about? Good play there. We're almost out of this. Wow, that was good. We have about 5% left. Whoosh.
Yeah, great look there. And I'm going to answer this without putting in the chat there, because Andrew just asked, why would NVIDIA go down if it's strong? I was only saying if it came out of sell imbalance, that would look short 135, but it didn't. Like nothing. Amazon's a 470,000 sell. That's not even that big. You want millions for a stock doing 25 million. NVIDIA's done 200 million. It needed to be 3 or 4 million to the sell side. But it's like Southwest buy, which we already knew was going to be there, and nothing of significance over $1 million. Don't even know what MPLX is. It's not a cheap stock, but I have no idea what it is, so essentially who cares? So I'm not going to be shorting it because it does not have a sell imbalance. It would just be too obvious. Sell imbalance, short in front of the high of the day, double top. Similar thing with Amazon, but neither one actually looks all that interesting, but you don't have to trade it if it doesn't set up. Nike going green. Is this the day that Nike makes the bottom?
Nope.
Well, I'm just talking, I just want a day trade bottom. Because since the earnings, I've been waiting for it to hold a level and then break out the next one. And you are still waiting for it to hold a support level and break out. Like it's held support, that's the first step. Once it does it, you want it to, the first time it held a double bottom, did it break out resistance? Nope. Double bottom, no break of resistance. Double bottom again, no break of resistance. So this is day one and a new low. So hold the same low twice and then break out the next resistance level. That's the long idea post earnings. And Nike ain't there yet by a long shot.
Yeah, I still want to wait for that. I mean, I think I could put a little bit of the money. We sold some Tesla yesterday. You can put it right back into some Nike. So you buy a name that's exploding one way and then another one that's exploding the other. So take advantage, sell the top, buy the weakness. But that's not, there's been studies about that. We talk about that with Michael Noss. Why not just buy the strongest names instead of trying to catch falling swords all the time.
It's true.
Yeah, okay. That's Nike there. I just want to look at that chart as well. Amazon's having a problem here at 2 bills. I want to thank everybody for watching here today. Was Google the downside? We just got some more out, by the way, at 92s and 95s there. All right, breathe. We talked about Google coming into VWAP, and we didn't even look at it. I don't know if I would have taken it anyways because it was 345, but there's that pull into VWAP. We said that we liked that trade. If it was a little bit more time in the day, there it is. So a nice little pull back in on a strong name. That's Google. That trade would have worked, but again, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We don't have it on, but looks like that was a good one there off that. So we'll keep that in our mind. For tomorrow, get some more out here, 91s if we can, as it's coming. There it is. We get that on the spike up there. So, I mean, Amazon just trying to piece out of this with only 7 or 8 minutes left. You're welcome, Ike Anderson, for the sticky note. We had Carvana long. We had Tesla, which was a good one. We had the Apple long as well on there today. And then my biggest P&L name today, yes, is NVIDIA, actually. So we had NVIDIA long today, and it's right there. We took the 132. That was the bottom that we had listed down. We waited for it to make a bottom, and then we got long at 133. But that was a good trade for us with our out at 134.80. Pretty clean, no stop outs at all. This is why this is our #1 stock today. NVIDIA, never a stop out here. So long and out again where we wanted to, and out again where we wanted to. Once on VWAP or whatever that was, probably there, 133 break, VWAP retest, out. Reminds me of that Tesla trade yesterday, absolutely fantastic with VWAP. Today, Tesla was not really my friend because we changed our mind. Right there, we had the long right there, and then we shorted, and we gave it up. We stopped looking at it once we got stopped out, but 267 was a good one there. Amazon just went for a dip and then right back up. Amazon just went down to 70s there. Look at this. Look at that. That's real. Amazon just dropped down 30 pennies and ripped.
And before 355, which is weird. Usually I'm expecting that to happen. 5 seconds to go. I just want to stick around to see what happens at 355, see if any of those names have some kind of an update, which would be big. So there's 355. Amazon, which was there for 500,000, is not even there anymore. NVIDIA wasn't there. Now it's a 400,000 buy, but a very, very small number. So nothing significant. Palantir might be 700,000, but Palantir is a pretty cheap stock, so that is not that big of a deal for Palantir. And remember, Palantir failed that 2840 level, so guess what's in play tomorrow? Still in play to break out above this 2-day high on Palantir. Holding trend to the upside, still looks good, maybe a 2850. The other thing which is still strong and made a nice bounce today and didn't quite get the resistance, but that 3540 on Intel, that's going to be in play. Okay, I might be jinxing it, but that's potentially in play tomorrow. So 35.40, that was that earnings top where it dumped. You've made the breakout. You've gotten to the resistance level. Next step, consolidate under, break out the top, go to the 200-period moving average would be the idea. But I got to mosey onto the desk. We got Chris Brecher on, and he's got a great topic because we're going to talk some sentiment because you got to have the right sentiment, whether it's strong or weak. You got to know when it makes a difference what the overall sentiment in the market is, or sometimes specifically in certain types of names, like the sentiment in weed stinks. I don't know why I said weed there, but I'm going to head on to the desk. Good look there in Amazon. Ideally, we can still trade the 200 level tomorrow morning, but you never know. Maybe it'll gap through. But we'll see you in a few minutes, guys, at the desk.
Yeah, hopefully it holds out. Good job there, Neil. As he comes back, and then, now he's got a hobble on over there to the desk. So, okay. So we just got some more out there at 78. We are basically flat on this name as we talked about the imbalances and what that meant. So we were really happy. We said that we'd be getting out at 200 again. So it's there to there at the end of the day. Just wait, not even too many outs. So we were just sort of piecing it out. We had so many shares that was allowing us to get out like that. So that's always a good sign. So we'll do that, get out now, and then look to see what that next trade is. Thanks everybody again. Let's check out Carvana, CVNA. I might just, it's .NY, of course, for Carvana. 130. Okay, a name that I thought had a very good chance of going. I'm going to get the rest out here if we can on that. There it is. That wraps up the trade. So Siren's up for Amazon as we get out at 77 there, or 76s. Good out on that last piece, and now we wait. So Amazon, it's a couple good names coming at the end of the day there. Longeveron, we can have a quick little look at that as we'll review some of the names that we had earlier. This name got going early and then really didn't do anything late. I think we'll have to look at this again. We got stopped out there. It was like in and then stopped out. It'll be red. I mean, you guys that were watching me earlier know that we got stopped out there at 450, and that was pretty much the bottom. So we'll be, well, no, actually 416, 420. Puff pass on that one. We'll see what happens. Only 2 minutes now left in this game, which is the market. Amazon making its way back up. Let's just check out some big names here. NVIDIA basically at high a day now. So great trading there. We'll look to see if that name can hold. AMD probably, yeah. We talked about that VWAP break. Silly of us not to take it. We're learning, man. Tesla not anywhere near high of day, pulling back into VWAP. Love this trade, 263.50. We'll see if we can make it tomorrow if it's there again. WFC, a positive name for us today. Hit that, got out of its way. Good thing we did as it makes that top again. Looking to fade banks, but again, with earnings play, almost a completely different one at that. And then Apple, wow. Again, not stopped out ever on Apple, so it was a good trade there. Long at 230. We left it alone. Long again when we got some of that news. Then long. Actually, we did get stopped out once, but then bought it right back. Long into the end of the day, closing at highs. Wow, Apple's at 233, man. No wonder the NASDAQ held up all day. Why was this not being yelled at? We should have looked at Apple, man. I'm looking at Amazon, looking at everything else. Look at Apple, right off the 200 period with support. Mamma mia, Jag, right there. We should have had Apple. That's a trade for me, 24/7, honestly. 200 period with support, Apple. No, why did we not go long? Look at that size here on Apple. Make sure you do not have any pending orders, Sean. You don't want to get filled here with only a couple seconds left. So again, good battle back there today. We'll be red on the day. We showed you a couple of our shares, a couple of our trades there. We will take the red side. We can't celebrate green sides and not tell you that we have some red days. So we've traded 3 or 4 days here. So far in July, we have 1 red. So it's not bad. With only 10 seconds to go, let's go. It's not roll call, it's countdown right there with 10 seconds left. It's Adara and Neil on the After the Market recap show coming to you very, very soon. And in fact, in 3, 4, 3, 2, and 1, the market is closed, Adara. So there it is. Good job there. The U.S. markets are now closed after again reaching record highs all over the place. Apple goes up to Apple. The NASDAQ, 20,900. The ES, 5,700 almost. I mean, these are targets, price targets getting blown out of the water, and we're only halfway through the year. A little more than that, don't at me. But many people did not even have 5,700 as a baseline target for this year. What a move, man. The NASDAQ was up 38% or something this year, continues to climb higher and higher. So 4 o'clock, man, will banks, will Delta start to send this market to the downside? I say no. Let's wait to see what happens coming through, though. Let me know, Ramin, if they're ready and we can throw it. But again, thank you to Ramin, Fabian, Neil, of course. Adara's there. Sharif's been here. Thank you to Obi. Thanks to Brendo and everybody. And most importantly, thank you to Bears vs. Bulls. That continues to help us. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors. I don't think we do that enough. Thank you so much to Real Trading, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, and probably missing a few others. But thank you so much for all the support that continues to happen here at Trader TV Live. All right. No or yes? Yes, there it is. We get the thumbs up. All right. I'm Sean. Go find us at Trader TV, Sean at Trader TV Live on all your socials. We're back tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, everybody.
Welcome to the Aftermarket show today. Wow, the market is, it's relentless. What can we say about it? The NASDAQ just continues to press higher. You saw at the end of the day there, the S&P 500 continued to go higher. It is a super strong looking sector board as well. A whole lot of green, but let's be real. Everything starts and ends with tech. The Qs do that nice 1% move back in. There's no stopping it. It's kind of like the English offense, although I don't know what it's 1-1 right now. So hopefully they didn't just get scored on or something because they're probably coming back from halftime. No, they're not that good. If England's offense was as good as the strength in the S&P and the NASDAQ right now, then they would be steamrolling up 4-0 and they'd be heading toward a date with Spain. But 1% up, new, fresh highs. We can't say this enough. You sell something at the top, 24 hours later, you're just in regret land. But it's not the only thing strong. Today, big not rejection, break, I should say rejection. No, uranium breaking the 50 here. So we've been talking about this one. It never made on the weekly the break that we wanted, but it does pull right back into that 200-period moving average. Now breaking out the 50 period with a 4.5% day. Let's see if it can hold this $30.50 level here on URA. Gold having a strong move, although as we mentioned with several guests, I mean, obviously we were talking about this with Michael Noss last week, whether you're looking at GDX or GLD in here, you haven't quite taken out those tops. GDX getting really close to taking out the tops. GLD still has a ways to go. Even though it made the nice bounce off support, you still don't have that big push in to that double top there on the daily. So worth watching as they both get into some resistance, overhead resistance. But let's talk a little S, M to the his H. Some things are breaking out highs. Gold's not breaking out highs, Peter Schiff, yet. But SMH, I'm not trying to dig at Peter Schiff. I know he'll be happy when it does. But SMH, with the big break, you got a new 52-week high. It's just, the chips have been so strong. I'm going to pop a 15-minute up here, just so you can see the relentless nature of it. Why? Because the 2 days going into this rally, you had a break. Look at the hold of support on the SMH 2 days ago. It broke out this 273, essentially rejected 275, and then just hold the line, hold the line, hold the line, and blow up that spot. Then yesterday, just a Dumpsville moment where it dumped all the way into that same 273, bounces in the same spot. It's like, oh, we're not dumping through that 73 level? Well, I guess we should just be flying to fresh highs. And that's what we do here on the SMH. So Adara, when it's a green day, it's always more fun trading. Trading is great and trading is fun, but the trading is much better. Hopefully you didn't break anything there, Ramin. Trading is a heck of a lot better when the market is going up. I like up days more than we like down days. It is what it is. Sometimes when you're day trading, the short days are the best days to trade, but happy to see this market be so strong.
There's a lot of strength here in the market. We had AMD and its news with Silo. We had Google and HubSpot. There's a lot of fun midday catalysts coming. We also had Rigetti with that Citron research note. And I was really happy because I saw that note come in before everyone else was circulating. So I saw the note, saw the pop, and I was like, you know, you don't want to be first, you want to be right, but it's fun when you're first and right. I think that sometimes can be, you know what I mean? If you have those moments where you double check, you see that note, and you're able to see that move. So.
Can I ask you a very quick question out of morbid curiosity? Okay. When you say you saw the note before everybody was circulating,
not everybody, but
like, so obviously what happens usually, you get like one source presenting something, then you get like a second or third source. So you wouldn't happen to remember roughly in the move, like what was capturable when you first heard it? Because if you look at Rigetti, and we're just thinking out loud here, everybody, like this Rigetti stock, they got the news right about 2:30, like 2:37, somewhere in here, it starts getting disseminated. This is a dollar stock that breaks 110. Yeah. The initial candle goes to 128. It pulls back into 117 and then sees 140. So I would imagine somewhere in this 1 minute candle, which is all the way up, like it gets from 110 to 128 and closes at 121. So if any of that move early on, if you could be anywhere under 120, that was essentially a free money trade as it's being disseminated because you're essentially risking back to the 110 and it goes 20 cents up there. So sometimes it can be an advantage. And with these small cap runners, usually you don't want to overreact to like one news source. If like only one person is reporting something and it's like an Apple, or it's like, oh my goodness, this deal is falling through. Like let's say it was when Microsoft was buying Activision, right? If there'd been like one Twitter account posted the deal's falling through, but nobody else is, I'm not going to necessarily believe that. But when it's a small cap stock and there's seconds for it to run, and you have that tight window to get into the move, sometimes it can be worth it, but only if you're in early. That's the key point.
And I think with this too is usually with, like, I'm always very diligent. I like to make sure I've seen a couple of different sources report something, see if I know exactly what the source is. But this is a bit unique because I saw this come through on the tweet deck, the official Citron Research tweet. So this wasn't news, this was Citron tweeting, so this was a bit different. I didn't have to check to say they tweeted, I knew they tweeted. So I was able to see that immediately. I saw the volume pop. And so that was a little bit, it was a bit of a unique scenario in that you could react a lot faster and you could report a lot faster because you weren't waiting for secondary news. It was, do you know what I mean? It was a really unique scenario in that way, which made it interesting to report on and witness. I don't remember exactly where it was. It was up about 15% from that low of day. So again, I wish I could give a number, sorry, but it was
if it was
like
15% from the consolidation, then you could have had it around the 120 level, which was essentially the perfect go spot. Because if you look back, it closed right here 121. It opened up 121, tried to test the 117. So if you get it early in that move, like you're actually seeing reasons to add at that price. And then going 120 to 140, you can't go wrong with that. But look, the overall market, super strong. I just want to acknowledge, not everything was up today. The old Widowmaker, UNG, right back in, down 1%. I'm just gonna pull up the daily chart. This is the thing about nat gas. They call it the Widowmaker, and everyone that's been, this is going to be the rebound. It's going. Oh my goodness, UNG. When this ETF, when it finds a top, the flush has been gorgeous. But they call it the Widowmaker for a reason. Not everything's strong, but UNG definitely looking like it's still trying to test that absolute bottom. But you know what? The sentiment, the winds and the sentiment can always be changing. Maybe they're going to change there in UNG. Maybe it's going to change in energy in general. Possibly we're going to see some kind of a change in the banking sector and financials because end of the week we get those earnings. Somebody that I know is interested in talking about a little bit of market sentiment. I do believe we have him locked and loaded, ready to go for a little trader talk, and our good friend Chris Retcher. Welcome, Chris. Good to see you again. Chris Retcher, the managing director of Simpler Stocks, good friend of the show, dropping great puns, great trade ideas for us, but a little something different today that I think you wanted to talk about there. So first off, welcome. How has the day been?
I had a lot of puns ready for you, but I'll hold off on those for a minute.
Nothing wrong with that. But how was your day trading today? Candidly speaking, I was off half the day this morning, so I missed all of the opening opportunities, like Amazon, the Bezos 200 level for the short. AMD was so incredibly strong. All of the chips had big moves. But what was your not necessarily thesis, but what was your main drive today that you were looking at from a trading basis, if you can share?
Well, all we were doing was like the catch-up trade. So we were like buying the IWM via spreads because it's really hard to just pick some laggard stocks like the Deeres and the Caterpillars of the world because they're not bouncing yet. So it's really tough when it's this narrow rally. Then you get things like Meta that went straight down when the market went straight up. So we were trying to be really careful going for like the IWM and doing spreads for Friday on the upside. And yesterday and the day before, we were buying the hurricane stocks, the Home Depots. We got out of GNRC already. I didn't get back in. And we also messed around with another lagger, the XBI. I know we've talked about the XBI like 8 million times, and it has a time and a place. But we were buying it in this area. So we were buying it, and this is always dangerous when they act like garbage, but we were buying it right here in this area. So now we didn't just buy it, we bought spreads. In fact, we're almost two right. So we also bought this. We bought CRSP. So we were in the Home Depot, CRSP, and XBI. Today, all we really messed around was IWM. So we're in IWM overnight. This is just betting on that laggard play.
Right. The other thing forming, just on that IWM, it seems like you've also got that little wedge forming, right? I know you were just drawing the lower highs, but I've seen a few breakouts this week, most of them in the chip space, that have that same wedge pattern where you get the higher low, lower high consolidation. And if you're looking for something that can be explosive, like you just get that accumulation effect going on. It usually tells you that someone's kind of in there holding around that price. And when you get a break in either direction, it can be good. But I just wanted to quickly ask you about this Home Depot, because we had a few people in our chat today that were talking specifically and asking specifically about like a hurricane play. And my first thought was like, you got to be early in the season, right? If you're going to do something like that. So give me your thoughts here, what you guys are doing with Home Depot, if you could.
Yeah, sure. Just so you know, I did a YouTube live, what was it, Monday, on my list of hurricane stocks and when they matter. So, I mean, we could go on for an hour about that, but here's a list if you just somebody wants to screenshot it. And I'm changing these all the time, but there's some of them for you. So you got the Generac, which is at one time was down 5. I didn't buy it. Lumber futures, Denny's. Now, believe it or not, marine products down in Florida, you have to restock on stuff. One thing that put me on the map on TradingView in 2012 was Hormel with spam. I've posted a chart that when Hurricane Sandy hit the Northeast, it seems like Northeasterners stock up on spam when they and it worked. The stock went up 50 to 70%.
Who knew?
And you got the liquor stocks. So you got the floors, the rebuilding stocks. And you'll see that the ones that have lagged because people are worried about the economy all of a sudden are kicking in now at this time of year. Home Depot, Lowe's, Berkshire Hathaway has a finger in everything, and Xylem is about water treatment.
Okay, I love those names in there. And I think it's important because I know there's always traders looking for something as a swing idea. Like, hey, what's happening now? What can be the catalyst? And anyone that knows what Barrel's been doing, and I was saying this on the show, like everybody, my family's from the West Indies, so I have like a WhatsApp chat with all of my family that's in Antigua and other places in the West Indies, and everyone's just posting all these different articles saying how it's expected to be a bad year for storms. And when that's the case, it's like, well, how can you take advantage of it? Home Depot makes logical sense. I think we can all sort of wrap our heads around that one and then rebuilding. But I love some of the other names that you kind of mentioned in there. Like I'm not sitting there thinking about spam or Denny's, but usually but you chuckle at it, but it's the thing that maybe people aren't necessarily thinking about first comes to mind that's going to give you the bigger move and the bigger opportunity for a trade if you can kind of dig a little bit deeper, see what's happened historically. So thank you very much for that, Chris. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about sentiment overall.
Yeah,
so it's a term that gets used a lot around here, but obviously it matters sometimes more than others, for sure.
Well, one thing, though, is, and I didn't answer the question about Home Depot, but we were also going on something else. I'd like to have 3 reasons to do something. So let me tell you that real quick, because sorry I didn't answer it. We were going on that, number one, the whole market was going up. And number 2, that Home Depot was hitting that support right there. And then, like you were talking about, those kind of wedges. So you got the wedge right in here, that kind of wedge. And then you got the bull flag within the wedge. So that's one reason. And the laggard. Everybody's nervous about the economy is starting to weaken. That's why you've seen the deers and the cats go down. But Home Depot historically goes up at this time anyway. So I thought you'd like that wedge combined with the hurricane thesis.
Yeah, I think you always look for those multiple. On the show, we talk about the confluence, right? So the multiple levels of confluence. You want why are you looking at the stock? Why one over the other? Like, why Home Depot over Lowe's? Then you want like a technical setup that's going to be there. So then you get the catalyst, then you get the actual execution. Like all of those things have to align. If you have one reason for a trade and just nothing else to go off of, usually it's not going to work out the best for you. I think you got to have those multiple lines there. I like that Home Depot idea. I've been thinking about. You said it's funny. You led with one of the things you mentioned was waiting for Caterpillar is like frustrating for this to look strong. That's a stock that I own. I'm looking for the spot for the turn in Caterpillar, and it's just not showing anything yet. I like the company.
Yeah.
I know I want to be a buyer, but it's just taking. You just got to be patient with it. So you got to look for some other things. Put that money to work.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I'm looking at like Lowe's. Like there's a difference between the developing pattern and a breakout like you saw like Tesla. When you had the breakout here where you had a little bull flag within the wedge, those wedges you were talking about, or a bull flag. And all of a sudden you had it in Lowe's. Believe it or not on a daily, but on that 30-minute, you got that wedge. And then you're talking about Caterpillar, and you're looking at, well, it's one of those things that people get annoyed at me on our site because it's going to be a better buy over that break of the wedge.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
I tend to think it as well, and I just heard another one because Sean's still around. He's mentioning Costco moving on news. See what we have here going on here. Costco, you can't keep a great stock down, and it's never even down. Let's be real. This stock is only going up. This is a 3-minute. It just ran $40 here to the upside. So Costco live here as we're talking. Not adjacent names, but let's be real. It's not that far away from things people stock up on in storms.
Yeah, they released their
You
sales
it's funny
update.
because I go through hundreds of names and all these different storms. So whether it's a destructive storm with flooding, like you're seeing in Texas now with Burl, and then you see like Hurricane Ian that was more wind damage in Florida, and seeing if like Beacon Roofing was more likely to go up in 2022.
Chris, if we can just quickly, Chris,
go up at this time of year.
Chris, not to interrupt, but I want to let Adara get the news out to everybody that's watching here. I don't have it. Adara's got the news.
So June, Costco had their June net sales. They're up year over year, $24.48 billion in sales for the month of June alone. Last year, $22.78 billion. So 24.48 versus 22.78 year over year. They also announced they're going to be increasing they have plans to increase their fees for their membership. They're going to increase their annual fees by $5 for U.S. and Canada Gold Star memberships as of September 1st. So you have about 2 months for your old membership price before that increases by $5. That is the news there for Costco.
Yeah, big mover, and it's still holding these highs. Like when you're making a break like this, it's obviously going to be like it's just a blue sky setup. There's nothing standing in its way. Like it's well above the previous top here. The $900 level has come and gone. I think the next thing is just going to be Splitsville. But there you go. Sometimes you're waiting for things to happen here. We still have Chris on. You're waiting for things to happen in Caterpillar. You don't have to wait with a stock like this. Every single dip on Costco, if it just holds it for a week and then breaks any kind of consolidation, wow, this is a super strong stock. It only gets better. Yeah, when you can get away with when you can increase prices and people gobble it up, that means you're winning in my books.
Yeah, no doubt. But and it goes to show you about, I know everybody talks about trading the trend, but it just goes to show you that when Costco has good news, it goes up. And when HubSpot, like Google, said they're not interested anymore and the stock was already in a downtrend, so things in bad news and downtrends react bad. So I think the top in the overall market's going to be when everything has good news and goes down. So, but for now, yeah, the ones in an uptrend, when they have good news, they continue up.
And just as another note, another name which just broke highs, maybe on some sympathy there, Walmart's usually going to get, I mean, it's not the same thing, but the sympathy play for Walmart has it breaking out. So just like you said, like the trend is pretty strong. This one actually did a split and then continues to go even higher and higher and higher. Now, ideally, I just saw a great point in the chat there. Rivian Millionaire, you can also just only buy names with good news, which is, I think that's a pretty, you don't have to sit there and try to decipher, hey, when is the stock going up on bad news? I know traders will talk about that all the time. If a stock's going up on bad news, it's a good thing. But you can always just buy the best, buy the things that are all rosy, and join that trend. Something about a simple trade is usually the best idea out there, especially when you're holding in that long term. So we know the sentiment's good when it comes to Costco, and we know the sentiment is good for Walmart. But what are the other ideas I know you had out there that you wanted to talk about? Just can't even get away from these markets. Didn't want to interrupt, but there was no way we couldn't cover that Costco breakout.
Well, I'll tell you right now is, I look at a number of different sentiment indicators, but like you said, I try to have 3 reasons to do something. So you see like the put-call ratio here. Put-call ratio has been really low. So real low. And the moving average has been real low. But that doesn't mean to short the markets. I mean, still things are working. The other thing, but how many for weeks have talked about a low put call? The other thing we're watching is the AAII investor sentiment survey, and that's not an extreme. 41 and 26 is just not an extreme. Then there are things like the American, there's a different one, Investors Intelligence, and they've been over 60% bullish for 5 weeks. But that's extreme, but you haven't seen the markets have any kind of turn. So, and the other ones I look at a number of them. Another one is CNN Fear and Greed. And you'll see in there, I'm glad that when I fill out something in here, it fills out like CNN Fear and Greed and nothing inappropriate. So, I mean, that's how boring I am when I search on things on the internet.
Yeah, you're running some risk there. We just live search on Google. You never know what's going to come out on top. I'll tell you that much.
Luckily,
so you do that at your own risk there, Chris.
It's not something bad. So, luckily, it's CNN Fear and Greed. So that's, like I said, that's how boring I am when I search the internet, at least that you know about. Now, on Firefox, that's a whole different situation, but I'm on Google Chrome. So just kidding. But Fear and Greed, not an extreme.
Fear and Greed
is nothing.
Oh, you don't want fire. First of all, I'm just going to let you know. You want not Firefox, DuckDuckGo. That's the one.
Oh, okay. That's how much I know about those things. So, but no extreme. So I look at extremes, and then when I look at extremes, which I'm not seeing in anything really, I'll look for reversal patterns within that. But I just don't see them at the moment. And that's why if I want to play anything to the downside, I can't just use sentiment. I have to combine it with all those charts like we were talking about. I like using StockTwits. So StockTwits sentiment, I'm like a beta tester because they change the sentiment around. I used to do with their old sentiment, a StockTwits sentiment table every week, and that worked pretty well. But you'll see in here, the QQQ with their sentiment is bearish. And yesterday it was neutral. So they're just not this extreme bullish reading. And that's what you're going to have to see combined with charts for me to get, swing trade like bearish. And it's not there yet. But I will tell you that if I see like the ES and I see all of a sudden on a daily chart that's different. Where all of a sudden you see it start to roll over, and which means I'm not going to hit the top. So I'm waiting for the first sell-off and then the consolidation. And like we've been harping on, you just don't see that yet.
Yeah, you want to try sell the market in this kind of strength. Trying to be the top, to you there, Sean, trying to be the top of the market is a good way to go broke. It's better I'd rather join a move when the sellers have stepped in, then try to pick the absolute top, because you might feel really, really cool when you get it, but the road will be paved with a lot of top wicks and getting busted out there. So I think you're right about needing that extreme. Like if you're going to go against the grain in a long trend and look for that, you have to have a really good, distinct reason. Ride the trend and have really, really confident reasons why it's going to make that turn. I don't think I could agree more there. And having more than one source to look at probably makes a little bit of sense in terms of looking. You want everything to sort of stars aligning to kind of try to find that top, because there's a lot of top pickers out there that have been calling for the market to make this. When is this 10, 20% retracement coming? And we haven't even seen it, Chris. So before we get you out of here, any last thoughts, any last ideas, anything you didn't get to that you want to cover in here, maybe that you're looking at as we're going in the last couple of days in the trading week here?
I know a lot are looking at the CPI tomorrow, and one thing, and I think we've mentioned on here before, is usually I look at the Dow Jones Commodity Index, the DJCI. That's the symbol, at least on Thinkorswim, and that when the CPI is backward looking a month. So when you saw this and you saw the big old pop, then it was more likely the CPI that was coming out, let's say the next week or whatever, that's backward looking, was going to be hotter than usual. But now that you have this, CPI is probably going to be a non-event. Plus, Powell's already talked yesterday and today, so he probably already knows what the CPI is anyway. So I don't think the CPI is going to be a difference. Now, I think the markets are getting really overcooked, but you don't have any kind of reversal pattern yet for me to like say that's where at least you have a backstop. So if you saw like a big old red candle in here, at least then I'd have a backstop to play against the high. But you just don't have that yet. In fact, if you see that like all the way down to here, then you want to see what the oversold rally is like. And if it's pathetic, sure, then you can try to pound the market on the downside. But I just don't see right here. I just back away until I get a more definable intraday pattern.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to put the hands up. I'm old, so I remember like this in Cosby Show, it's like, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like it, you don't have to trade it. And all that means is you're going to have more capital preserved for when the good trade does come. And I can't say that enough. Like if you take small, when you're wrong, you take small hits and you're really patient and wait for the best setups, don't take every single opportunity that's out there. Then when the time is right and you want to strike, you'll be great. And you'll have those best opportunities. That's what it's all about there. Thank you for sharing your ideas there. Chris Bretcher, Senior Managing Director, Simpler Stocks, and very safe searcher, apparently, which we have found here. Nothing too risque. Always fun having you on, Chris. Best of luck in your trades the rest of the week. Wish you all the best.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
Bye.
So always some fun talking a little bit of market sentiment, but just the market's still digesting this Costco move. It's pulling back right now, but that was a blowout, absolute blowout piece, especially when there's nothing else really going on in the aftermarket. So Costco coming out, raising some prices. It's above the 900. It has pulled back, got to $925, pulling back into 906, 907 as we speak, but the euphoria certainly there. These are all fresh highs here for Costco. For anyone that has noticed. Maybe if you just, before we get into like roll call, just a quick review for anybody that wasn't paying attention of what caused Costco to do this.
So Costco released their June sales numbers. This included a nice little year-over-year increase here. $24.48 billion in sales for June 2024. Their June 2023 sales were $22.78 billion year-over-year, so almost a $2 billion year-over-year increase. Then we also had the announcement of a $5 membership fee increase for their U.S. and Canadian members. That's going to take place starting September 1st. You have about just under 2 months before this increase takes effect.
Yes, sir, and great news for them. Still seeing it's up 2.5%. You're actually still pulling back now, 905, 904. I think as long as it holds that 900 tomorrow. Previous high was actually 897. 900 is just a round number. 897 was the previous top. So you're well above that. Should be a good one. But you know the new drill. You've been crushing it every single time, right? So we do a bit of a rotation in here, but I'm just giving the roll call to Adara time after time. I'm going to get my name in there to make sure. So get your roll call ready, everybody. Let's get locked and loaded.
Let's get going. Okay, I'll start with who I'm seeing here. Sharon Harrison, Andrew Chow, Darwin, Kyle Burdett, Chef Joe here. I find it harder when I have to show it. I'm not used to reading it at this angle. Okay, Neil Roberts shutting out Chris. I'll also shout out Chris. Bears versus Bulls, killing it. Andrew Chow again, Dave Clark, Raul, Three Kings Media, Royal Dixon, Brian Thompson. We've got Chef Joe, we've got Kyle Burdett, we have Darwin, we have Adrian, we have Chuck of All Trades, we have Andrew Chow in there again. We've got Neil Roberts, Andrew Chow one more time, Jake Profit Monty, Ryan Delager, Crab Stock, the Nathan Williams, Bora Hout, Bears versus Bulls. Thank you so much for everything you do. Mitchell Burton, D-Loaf, Andrew Scott Matthews, The Real Tech Geek, Brian Thompson again, Ricky Peters, Marie L, Chuck of All Trades, Zero Gravity Zen, the Nathan Williams, Jake Profit Monty, Lionel Martinez, For Profit, John Von Sowers, Raw John, Sebastian, Pitchbull, CompuCare Team, the Nathan Williams, Sherry Punjab, Stonefart, Hi, Left Trader TV by Fabian there, Rivian Millionaire, my voice is fine, but I appreciate the concern, Brian Thompson, Jay Haas, B. Davis, Trader T10, Sebastian, Bristol, Mark L, the Nathan Williams, Bora Hout, D-Loaf, Jersey Sean, CompuCare Team, Nathan Williams, Mogi Bear.
Boom. Mic drop every single time. I need a mic drop key or something like that. We got to do a mic drop. for that, because that's what it is. Just absolutely dropping it, killing it as always, Adara. Love it. Great day today. Obviously, great end of the show. I want to thank Chris for coming on, dropping some knowledge every single time he comes on here. I think everyone that is a trader or just is interested in the markets is going to be able to learn something. All of our guests who do a fantastic job. Just want to remind everybody, you can always check us out every single day. Check out our socials, but check us out at 8:30 in the morning. Get your prep ready, get ready for the markets and live trading. We're going to be back at it. And now suddenly we got Costco. All they got to do left, the only thing left, Costco, is when is that split coming? And then we can go moonshot. But you know what's good? Everybody out there, good luck trading. Have a great evening. Rest up, because it'll be wild and wicked what a strong market we had today. Bright and early, 8:30 as always. Trader TV Live. See you tomorrow, everybody.
See you guys.